Let's pray. Mighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the office of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of people, we beseech you to behold with abundant favor ones whom you pleased call to the performance of us in this public. Let your blessings send upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters such as consideration. In so just us to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county, and of those interests you get our church. Clerk, kindly take us through the order of the day.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and honorable members. Order paper number 441 of Tuesday, 30th June 2026 at 2:30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I want to welcome you to this very important session, a session where we'll be having a very important business, which is discussion on the county assembly, the Kisumu County budget for 2026-2027 and the medium term. But I want to make one communication that tomorrow, Wednesday, the 1st of July 2026 at 9 a.m., the governor has communicated to me that he'll be making a visit to the Kisumu County Modern Assembly under construction at 9 a.m. So those members who are available and like to accompany us there, welcome tomorrow, 1st of July 2026, 9 a.m. Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Honorable Leader of Majority.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to standard number 41. Orders number 41 to C. Present and lay on the table of the County Assembly a statement informing the County Assembly of the business coming before the House in the following week. Honorable Speaker, this is therefore to bring to the attention of members and the County Assembly for the week commencing Wednesday, 1st July 2026 to Tuesday, 4th August 2026, the Select Committee on Assembly House Business at its last meeting approved the following tentative businesses to appear in the order papers as follows. On Wednesday, 1st July 2026 at 9:30 a.m. Commencement of business. Honorable Kennedy Ouko will move a motion for the adoption of the report of the PICPAC Committee on the examination of the Auditor General's report on the financial statements of Kisumu County Alcoholic Drinks Control Fund for the financial year 2024-2025. Again, we will move a motion for the adoption of the report of the PICPAC Committee on the examination of the Auditor General's report on the financial statements of Kisumu of the city of Kisumu for the financial year 2024-2025. On Wednesday, 1st July 2026 at 2:30 p.m., at commencement of business, Honorable Kennedy Uko will move a motion for the adoption of the report of PICPAC Committee on the examination of the Auditor General's report on the financial statements of Kisumu County Payroll Management for the financial years 2021, 2022, 2022, 2023, and 2024, 2025. On Thursday, 2nd July 2026 at 2:30 p.m., at commencement of business, Honorable James Omolo will move a motion for the adoption of the report of the Implementation Committee on the implementation status of the House resolutions on the status of Rata Health Center and Areto Langi Dispensary in Sebes Sub-County. Secondly, the Leader of Majority will move a motion for the adjournment of the County Assembly sittings for recess pursuant to the House resolutions of Thursday, 19th February 2026, until Tuesday, 4th August 2026 at 2:30 p.m. Honorable Speaker, members are advised that the County Assembly will proceed on recess from Friday, 3rd July 2026, and resume sittings on Tuesday, 4th August 2026. During the recess, public participation on the Kisumu County Sexual Reproductive Health Care Bill 2026 will be conducted on Thursday, 9th July 2026. Then on Tuesday, 4th August 2026 at 2:30, there will be a statement pursuant to orders number 41-2C regarding business for the week commencing Wednesday, 5th August 2026 will be read by the Majority Leader. At commencement of business on the same day, the Honorable Kennedy Ouko will move a motion for the adoption of the report of the PICPAC Committee on the examination of Auditor General's report on the financial statements of Kisumu County Revenue Board for the financial year 2024-2025. Honorable Speaker, I thank you.
Honorable Joachim Okech, appoint the chair. Next order, clerk.
Commencement of business. Order number 8. Adoption of the report of the County Budget and Appropriation Committee on consideration of the estimates of revenue and expenditure for fiscal year 2026-2027 and the medium term by Honorable Joachim Okech.
Honorable Joachim Okech.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to take this opportunity on behalf of Budget and Appropriation Committee to report on the consideration of the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the financial year 2026-2027 and the media term, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, with us here is the report from the committee, and I just want to inform I will be using a shorter version, which are the moving notes. But of course, I made sure that the moving notes are also given in our social page. And also, the mother report is also with us. For those who want to read with me as I present using the moving notes, please feel free. I also want to make it very clear that this is not actual reading of the budget, but just a report from the committee. The budget has been with us from 30th of April which today makes it 60 days. So we are just as a committee reporting back our findings and also presenting the recommendations to this House so that the House can adopt on behalf of the committee. So, Mr. Speaker, the County Assembly plays a central role in county budget making process as provided under County Government Act 2012, Section 131, and the Public Finance Management Act, Public Finance Management Act, and Standing Order number 189, Part 3B, and Standing Order number 222, Part 5 of the Kisumu County Assembly. As the representative of the people, Mr. Speaker, the County Assembly is responsible for scrutinizing the county budget proposals and ensure that public resources are allocated in a manner that promotes county priorities, accountability, and equitable development. It also evaluates the county fiscal strategy paper and county debt management strategy paper to ensure fiscal responsibility, Mr. Speaker. In this regard, Mr. Speaker, the County Assembly is responsible for determining the sharing of resources amongst the county sectors, and that is department, reviewing and approving county fiscal strategy paper, scrutinizing the estimates of revenue and expenditure, evaluating tax estimates, and debating and passing the appropriation bills, Mr. Speaker. In exercise of its oversight function, the County Assembly also monitors budget implementation to ensure efficiency, transparency, and value for money in use of public resources. Mr. Speaker, in adherence to Section 129, Part 2 of the PFM Act 2012, the CCM Finance and Economic Planning ICT submitted the estimate of revenue and expenditure for the financial year 2026-27 to the County Executive, to the County Assembly. That was on Thursday, 30th April 2026. And in the mother report, it is annexed as 1. Equally, the County Clerk of the Assembly submitted the County Assembly budget estimate in line with Section 129, Part 3 of the PFM Act 2012. By dint of the standing orders, Mr. Speaker, that is number 222, Part 3, 4, and 5 of the County Assembly, the estimate of revenue and expenditure were committed to the County Budget and Appropriation Committee for review and interrogation before making recommendations to the House, Mr. Speaker. The sectoral committee, also pursuant to their mandate, considered the proposed estimates of their respective line departments and made recommendations to this committee. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the members of the Budget and Appropriation Committee, I extend sincere appreciation to your office, the Clerk's Office, for the leadership, guidance, and invaluable administrative and procedural support accorded to the committee throughout the budget review process, Mr. The committee further acknowledges the contribution of sectoral committees for their dedicated oversight of the departments and sectors, which has enabled the Assembly to effectively execute its budgetary oversight role. Special appreciation is also extended to the members of the public who graciously attended public hearings and presented their views, enabling the committee to realign the budget in a more responsive and people-centered manner, Mr. Speaker. Our gratitude is also immensely expressed to the County Treasury for being part of this important process and providing insightful recommendations that greatly facilitated the committee's decision-making. The committee further expressed its appreciation to all the county sectors and departments for honoring our invitation and providing comprehensive briefings on their respective budgets, which significantly informed our recommendations, Mr. Speaker. Lastly, the committee is equally grateful to the Directorate of Legislative Procedural and Committee Services, Committee Secretariat, and all technical staff for detailed review, examination of the proposed budget, and further preparing and producing this comprehensive report. It is therefore my pleasure and duty, Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the County Budget and Appropriation Committee, to table the report on estimates on revenue and expenditure for the financial year 2026-2027 and the medium term for the County Executive, the County Assembly, Mr. Speaker. This report reflects a comprehensive review and analysis undertaken to ensure prudent, equitable, and efficient resource distribution to support county development objectives and sectoral priorities. So, Mr. Speaker, on procedure for review of 2026-2027 budget estimate, and in the mother report, you can reference to page 4 and 5. The budget making process is highly consultative and participatory, as exposed in Article 201 of the Constitution, Section 87 and 91 of the County Government Act 2012, and Section 125 and 131, the PFM Act 2012, and Standing Orders number 189, Part 3B, and number 222, Part 5 of the Kisumu County Assembly. In reviewing the 2026-2027 estimate, Mr. Speaker, The committee conducted a total of 15 meetings, including 8 meetings for presentation of sectoral committee reports by the respective chairpersons, flanked by the relevant county executive committee members in attendance of the county secretary and county treasury. The committee equally engaged the county public service board, the county assembly service board, city of Kisumu, and various municipal boards. These discussions allowed for an in-depth examination of fiscal priorities, Mr. Speaker, and various municipal allocations. The discussion allowed, and the fiscal priorities and sectoral allocations and economic strategies, ensuring that all the proposed budget supports county development objectives, promote physical sustainability and effective service delivery. Additionally, the departmental committee observation and recommendations are presented as annexed number 5 of this report in the mother report. The committee also engaged the system finance, economic planning, and ICT to address the general concerns raised by sectoral committee, members of the public, and from our technical analysis, the CCM inputs have been considered and our recommendations have also been annexed as Annex 6, basis for determination of cross-cutting issues. Article 201, Part A of the Constitution of Kenya, that is Section 131, Part 2 of the PFM Act 2012, and Standing Orders number 222, Part 5 of the Kisumu County Assembly, requires the County Budget and Appropriation Committee to seek public views on the budget, consider their recommendations when finalizing its report. The committee therefore published a memorandum in the daily newspaper on the County Assembly website, inviting the public to submit their views on the budget estimates, and attended the public forum organized in each ward in the county, Mr. Speaker. The town hall engagement were held on 25th, 26th, 29th, and May 2nd, June of 2026. Also, that has been annexed to a report. That is Annex 2. In this regard, Mr. Speaker, the committee received both oral submissions, written memorandum for the public highlighting key expenditure priorities across the 35 wards of Kisumu County, thereby informing a more equitable and responsive allocation of public resources. And that, again, you can check Annex 3 and Annex 4. The outcomes of these deliberations, Mr. Speaker, have provided both informed financial and non-financial recommendations the committee has captured in this report. So, Mr. Speaker, during the multi-sectoral hearings on the proposed budget for the financial year 2026-2027 held in Nairobi, His Excellency the Governor, Professor Peter Nyang'nyong'o, appeared before the committee and made special appeal to the County Assembly to support the implementation of his administration budget. The Governor observed that the financial year 2026-2027 budget estimates is the last implementable budget, let me say it, and in his second and final term in office, and therefore present a unique opportunity to consolidate the gains achieved over the past 9 years of his administration. The Governor urged the Assembly to prioritize allocation of resources towards high-impact development interventions, particularly in the health and infrastructure sector, Mr. Speaker, with emphasis on the completion of ongoing flagship projects, operationalization of completed facilities, and implementation of transformative programs that will leave lasting legacy for the people of Kisumu County. Further, Mr. Speaker, the Governor acknowledged the constructive partnership that has existed between the Executive and the County Assembly through his tenure, and noting that the milestones realized by the county were made possible through the Assembly's legislative oversight and budgetary support. He therefore appealed to the Assembly, Mr. Speaker, to consider and approve budget that will safeguard the gains already made, facilitate completion of strategic development priorities, and cement a legacy of effective public service delivery, sustainable socio-economic transformation for the people of Kisumu County. So, Mr. Speaker, on the key highlights, because I said earlier, we are only giving highlights on what we have in our main report and probably giving emphasis where we need the attention of the members. So the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the financial year 2026-27 are anchored on the Governor's clarion call of there is still work to be done. Let's do it, which embodies the county government commitment to consolidate the progress made, final grounding of a legacy in office. Accordingly, Mr. Speaker, the program focuses on completion of projects already initiated and operationalization of facilities that have been established this far. Mr. Speaker, the total proposed budget for the financial year 2026-2027 is Kenyan shillings 11,750,145,637, which comprises of Kenyan shillings 5,548,779,614 in personnel emolument, and then with Kenyan shillings 2,409,307,120, which is O&M, and Kenya shillings 3,792,058,902, which is development, Mr. Speaker. The submitted estimates will be financed from the total county resource envelope projected at Kenya shillings 11,750,145,637, which comprises, which I've just read, one, our resource envelope and how our budget in finance, Mr. Speaker. We have equitable share of revenue, which is Kenya shillings 9 billion, let me read again, Kenya shillings 9,467,640. That is equitable share. And then on conditional and unconditional grants, Mr. Speaker, Kenyan shillings 1,294,538,827. And then own source of Kenyan shillings 1,446,139,170. The committee observed that the proposed budget of Kenya shillings 11,750,145,636 negatively deviates from the previous budget by 31%, as well as the county fiscal strategy paper by 5.3. The reduction in budgetary expenditure for the financial year 2026-2027 is premised on reduced on-source projection and the sheer commitments towards formulation of a credible budget. And Mr. Speaker, I just want to bring the attention of the members that the figure that was proposed in the estimates that we received on 30th of April, on source was at 1.4. So based on the submitted budget estimates, Mr. Speaker, of revenue and expenditure, the cake has been appropriated to the various county executive sectors and the assembly as follows. So this is the budget summary of how we apply the 11.7 million. And just allow me to move a little bit fast. That if you check Department of Lands, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development, they have a total budget of 289,791,265, which has been broken as P&E. You can see there 66 million, O&M 21 million, and development at 201 million. And agriculture, livestock development, fisheries and irrigation, Mr. Speaker, has a budget of 485 million. 423,139, and which has been apportioned as for P&E 191,405,124, O&M 10,965,300, and development of 283,052,715. City of Kisumu, Mr. Speaker, has been given a budget of 99,459. So of that, 250 million 427. 163 is P&E, O&M of 30,989,028,000. Development of 968,683,268. County Assembly of Kisumu, Mr. Speaker, budget of 792,864,077. Of that, we have P&E of 352 million. 864,077, and then O&M of 440 million. So you can see, of course, at this stage, development for assembly is 0, but at the latter stages, you'll realize that outside their ceiling, there is a proposed requirement for completion of the assembly of 104 million. So as we proceed, you will see at the stage where the development comes. County Public Service Board, a budget of 40 million. 15,610. Of that, P&E is 18,961,788. Then O&M 21,053,822. Education, technical training, innovation, and social services, because this is a breakdown of the budget, has been a budget of 919,858,061. Of that, 516. You can see there's some substantial amount that is going for P&E, 516,468,100. And then O&M 268,347, 268 million, sorry, 347,754. And then with development of 135,042,207. Infrastructure, energy and public works, budget of 992 million, 31,806. Of that, 80 million. 877,408 for P&E, O&M of 21,162,592, then development of 889,991,806. You can see the low percentage of O&M vis-a-vis what we have for development, for infrastructure. For finance, economic planning, and ICT, a budget of 1,445,474,553. Of that, P&E 337,475,004. So O&M of 1,037,610,896. Development of 70,388,633. And trade, tourism, industry, and marketing, total budget of 208,948,008. Of that, P&D is 58,731,960. O&M of 11,711,620. Then development of 138,504,428. Medical services, public health, and sanitation, which normally consume a bigger percentage of our budget, as 3,072,579,428. Of that, you can see how much we use as personnel emolument under health is 2,734,391,572. And then O&M 195,939,955. Then 142,247,901 goes to development. Sports, culture, gender, and youth affairs. There's a budget of 142,788,827. Of that, 33,705,888 goes for P&E. 52,659,944 for O&M, and then development 56,422,995. That is for development. Water, environment, natural resource, and climate change, budget of 541,786,826, with P&E at 83,411,868. O&M 19,791,103. Development of 438,583,855. Public service, county administration, participatory development, and office of the governor has a budget of 1,360,003,155. Of that, 817,659,908. That is P&E. O&M of 174,856,781, and development of 367,486,466. County Attorney's Office, Mr. Speaker, has a budget of 69,826,291. And all of that is O&M. And then again, Ahero, of course, the municipalities also have now their independent budgets. And Ahero municipality, Ahero Wasisori, has a budget of 29,078,256. Of that, 1.5 million goes for P&E, O&M at 7,578,256, with a development of 20 million. Maseno Holo Municipality, 27,315,286. Of that, 1 million is P&E, O&M is 6,315,286. Then development is 20 million. Kombewa, Body Municipality, budget of 27,473,159. 1 million P&E, and we have 6,473,159 as O&M, and 20 million development. Katito Paponditi has a budget of 27,315,289, and P&E at 1 million, and O&M 6,315,289, development at 20 million. And then Muhoroni Chemelil Municipality has a budget of 27,473,159, with the P&E at 1 million, O&M at 6,473,159, with development at 20 million. Mr. Speaker, that gives, in a summary, the various county executive sectors and how the cake has been shared, Mr. Speaker. And you can see the summary and the totals as given at the last line. Mr. Speaker, if we go to the summary of key projects priorities proposed for funding, because remember, we already have a budget document, but of course, as a committee, when we scrutinized, we realized a lot of recommendations from members of the public, from the executive, and also from members of the committee, and even memorandum that was submitted to the committee, Mr. Speaker. So looking at the Department of Land, Physical Planning, Housing, and Urban Development, the department had been allocated a total of 289,791,265, with the priority spending directed as follows. The completion of the county special plan at 40 million, to guide sustainable land use. Development of comprehensive county valuation role at Kenya shillings 103 million to enhance property-based revenue. And then 2, establishment of integrated ADAMS, LAMS, and GL client of housing management at 20 million. Survey, planning, drainage, and land bank project at Kenya shillings 23 million, 654,627 to support informal settlement upgrading. And then the last one is 138 million allocated to municipalities to facilitate their operations and undertake priority development projects within their respective areas. On that, I'm just giving you the key highlights that has taken the chunk of the budget for lands physical planning. And then under agriculture, fisheries, livestock development, and irrigation, the department has been allocated 485,423,139. And this is to improve food security and lower cost of living by investing in high-value crop value chains and introducing input subsidy programs, Mr. Speaker. This department has prioritized implementing the following projects. That is, NAV CDP allocated of that money was Kenya shillings 105 million and 5 shillings. And then there was revitalizing Maseno ATC at 20 million. And then allocated Kenya shillings 58,851,433 for, that is rollover projects, sorry. And then 23 million of that money, that is the 485, 645,924 for pending bills and improvement of KDDC at 20,374,987, Mr. Speaker. Under City of Kisumu, the City of Kisumu has been allocated, Mr. Speaker, 1,250,099,459, largely meant to finance the following capital projects, Mr. Speaker. KUSP 2, which is a donor-funded project at Kenya shillings 377,029,152, and that is for urban transport and public facility improvement. Completion and operationalization of Nyamasaria Bus Park at Kenya shillings 51 million. Settlement of payables from previous financial period, that is just what we call the pending bills at 294,809,812. And then rollover, which I think as we speak here is under projection of 251,844,305. And then lastly, purchase of land for reallocation of SK from Jomo Kenyatta Stadium at Kenya shillings 50 million. Under education, Mr. Speaker, the department has been allocated 919,858,061 and has prioritized undertaking the following. These are just briefs in every department. 1, allocated 205 million of that money for bursaries and scholarships to support bright and needy students at Kenya shillings. That is 205 million for bursary and scholarship. And then Kenya shillings 100,500,000 towards ECD capitation for 681 ECD centers, Mr. Speaker. And then 3, Kenya shillings 16,542,207 for vocational training center tools and equipment. And then they also have Kenya shillings 13 million for settlement of pending bills and rollovers. I think the department has very little of that. And then we have 5 million and 1.5 for PWD mainstreaming, Mr. Speaker. Under infrastructure, energy, and public works, the department has been allocated 992,031,806 and prioritized financing amongst the following. 1, the upgrading of Lolwe Body Sat Bow Beach Road to bitumen standard. This is phase 2, Mr. Speaker, at a figure of 200 million. Development, pending bill, that department has a lot of pending bills, which of course, even the 150 million given might not be enough. And then REDEC matching fund, for street lighting infrastructure at 40 million and rollover projects and the Department of Land and Public Infrastructure at 499,991,806. Trade, tourism, industry, and marketing, Mr. Speaker, the department has been allocated 208,943,008. Prioritize the following. 1, completion of market infrastructure project at 37,700,000. And then tourism facilities development and beautification project at 20,500,000. And pending bill in that Department of Trade at 22.6 million. The Department of Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation, Mr. Speaker, the department has been allocated 3 billion 72,579,428, out of which Kenya shillings 2,734,391,572, and that represents 89% of the departmental budget for health has been set aside for personnel cost. Hiyo ni pesa ya kulipa wafanyikazi. And then at Kenya shillings 126.4 million has been allocated for hospital services to promote primary health care, procurement and purchase of pharmaceuticals and non-pharmaceutical supplies. Kenya shillings 90 million for CHV remunerations, and to 89,940,000 paid directly by the national government. Completion of health facilities across the county, Mr. Speaker, at 50,600,000. Construction of accident and emergency unit wards and mortuary facility at Kenya shillings 19 million. Establishment and equipping of sub-county wellness centers at Kenya shillings 8 million, and equipping of health facilities at approximately 17,600,000. And those are those health facilities that the department project to finish this financial year. There's money put aside to be able to equip them. Under water, environment, natural resources, and climate change, Mr. Speaker, the department has a total budget of 541,786,826, from which, Mr. Speaker, the department has prioritized financing the following. One, underwater settlement of pending bills at 42,375,210. All of our projects in that department, Kenya shilling 66,325,151. Establishment and operationalization of Kirwasco at Kenya shilling 16.5 million. Climate change funded projects, which is the famous FLOCA, at Kenya shillings 266,932,947. And then flagship water projects at Kenya shillings 62,950,547. Under sports, culture, gender, and youth affairs, Mr. Speaker, the department has been allocated 142,788,827. Amongst the proposed departmental priorities, Mr. Speaker, to be funded include: one, construction of boundary wall at Kenya Museum at Kenya shilling 16,517,573. And the various infrastructural upgrade at Kisumu Museum, Mr. Speaker, again at Kenya shillings 10 million. Mr. Speaker, second phase development of Tiangre Safe House at 7 million, and pending bill under the Department of Sports at 8,482,247. Koska Games, they had proposed 18 million, and establishment of situation county room, which was a very contentious issue at the committee, at 2 million. The Public Service County Administration Participatory Development Office of the Governor, Mr. Speaker, the department had been allocated a total of 1,360,3,155, and has proposed to finance amongst the following. One, 15 million has been set for disaster management, 16 million for equipping of 8 completed ward administrator offices, 352,500,000 accounts for KDSP. And Mr. Speaker, that is grant aimed at strengthening devolution structures. And then Kenya shillings 40 million for administrative operations under the governor's office. And then 50 million for gratuity payment to staffs, which tenure lapses with the current administration. And those are those who are going home together with Governor Professor Peter Nyang'. In finance, economic planning, and ICT, the department has been allocated 1,445,474,533, with priority spending as follows: 448,821,780 provision for medical insurance, and that is for the staff of Kisumu County; 62,960,304 for financial administration; 210,500,000 that is for emergency relief response; 140,388,633 for revenue mobilization. That is money that has been given to the revenue. Kisumu County Public Service Board, Mr. Speaker, the department has been provisioned with a total of 40,015,610 and has prioritized financing amongst the following, Mr. Speaker: payment of pending bill at Kenya shillings 7,541,344, purchase of e-recruitment system at Kenya shillings 5 million, purchase of human resource management system at Kenya shillings 3 million, renovation of County Public Service Board offices, which is in a very, very pathetic state, Mr. Speaker, at Kenya shillings 8,858,500. The County Assembly, Mr. Speaker, the County Assembly has a total recurrent budget of 899,826,065, and provision under CARA 2026 And Kenya shillings, as I mentioned earlier, it's outside our ceiling of 104, allocated outside its ceiling for development to cater for the construction, construal price variation for the construction of ultramodern county assembly, facilitate its completion and finishing. And you heard Mr. Speaker mentioning that the governor will be visiting the facility tomorrow, 9, so that he can also confirm that a lot of good work going there. Mr. Speaker, on key recommendation, which is very critical, and these are observations and recommendations that have been made by the committee after carefully examining this budget, Mr. Speaker. Resulting from this extensive consultation, the committee made the following financial and non-financial recommendations. So, Mr. Speaker, I will start with non-financial recommendations that emanating from our observation, the committee made the following non-financial recommendation. 1, all sectors and departments to prepare and submit their pending bill repayment plans to the County Assembly by 31st, Mr. Speaker, of July 2026. And Mr. Speaker, these recommendations have become songs year in, year out. And we just pray that the Committee of Implementation can help us so that at least for once have some of these recommendations implemented. And consequently submit the payment status on quarterly basis. Further, Mr. Speaker, accounting officers must ensure that all payments strictly adhere to the approved repayment plans. Then 2, all county government departments submit the annual strategic work plans and quarterly implementation reports to the Assembly in accordance with the law and within the prescribed timelines. Mr. Speaker, all sectors, departments with staffing needs, gaps must submit their staff establishment plans to the County Public Service Board. Facilitate workforce planning, because we realize that our departments plan for this and the key function of the Public Service Board. The County Public Service Board shall consolidate and forward the staffing plan to the Assembly as supporting document during submission of budget estimate for financial year 2026-2027. All departments with recruitment needs must submit their staff establishment and recruitment plans to the Assembly within 2 weeks of adoption of this report to justify, because if you're very keen, you realize that there are departments that have requested money for employment, and as I read the recommendations, you will see the departments, and that is why before, even after we have approved this budget, should the House grant that, we still require that there should be an establishment plan in terms of what they want to employ to be submitted to this House. The bursary allocation be classified under development budget component and social development expenditure rather than under recurrent expenditure to reflect the county investment in human capital development and to enhance physical reporting, Mr. Speaker. The CCM Finance, Economic Planning and ICT, in collaboration with this counterpart from Education, Technical Training, Innovation and Social Services, to ensure that bursary funds, Mr. Speaker, are procured and dispersed within the first half of the financial year, minimize disruptions to learners, Mr. Speaker. And then the CCM for Trade, Tourism, Industry and Marketing, to explore strategic partnerships with development partners and non-governmental organizations, such as I Choose Life Africa, which is a very good organization and willing to support modernization and upgrading of existing market infrastructure. A status report on the same must be submitted before the end of second quarter of the financial year, Mr. Speaker. The CCM for Public Service, County Administration and Participatory Development and Office of the Governor, in consultation with the county attorney, to undertake a comprehensive reconciliation of all payments made towards spending retiree benefits to establish the actual beneficiary, amount paid, any cases of duplicate payments. Particular attention shall be given, Mr. Speaker, Kenya shillings 5 million dispersed through the office of the county attorney, pursuant to a court decree, and the 16 million paid through Directorate of Human Resource. The committee realized that in the handling of payments to retirees, the county attorney was responding to court decrees that he did receive, and there is amount of 5 million that was paid through the county attorney's office. But further interrogation of the committee also realized that there is another 16 million, Mr. Speaker, that was paid through the Department of Human Resource Management. So we realized that either there will be double payment, and therefore it warrants that a reconciliation, so that we understand who paid who and how much, and are we paying the right people in terms of these retirees, Mr. Speaker. And this should be done and submitted to the Assembly by 31st of July, 2026. The Governor, Mr. Speaker, through the Council of Governors and the IBEC, will formally engage the National Treasury and relevant national government agencies to reconcile and align the direct payments made to community health promoters, that is the CHPs, with the allocation approved under the County Government Additional Allocation Act to ensure that all funds allocated to CHVs are fully transferred for the intended purpose. A progress report on the same, Mr. Speaker, to be submitted to the Assembly before the end of first quarter of financial year 2026-2027. And we also hope that the Committee for Health will also help on that. Number 9, Mr. Speaker, the county department, sectors, agencies, or entity shall include in its annual budget submission any program or initiative whose implementation is dependent upon the enactment or approval of a legal, regulatory, or policy framework, unless the enabling framework has been formally submitted, considered, or approved by the Assembly. We realize that we have been passing or approving estimates for certain vote lines that, of course, require legal enactments by the Assembly, like the e-voucher. So before doing that in future, Mr. Speaker, we needed the legal frameworks to be undertaken first before such considerations are submitted to the Assembly. The County Executive Member for Lands, Mr. Speaker, Housing, Physical Planning, and Urban Development to expedite the completion of the county valuation role. And this has been a song, Mr. Speaker, for long. And the county spatial plan and submit the same to the County Assembly for approval by 31st of December 2026. And I hope that the relevant sector headed by Honorable Boyton will also help us in pushing this. The valuation role will enhance OSR, Mr. Speaker, by facilitating lawful collection of property rates, while the county spatial plan shall guide orderly physical development and sustainable urban and rural growth across the county. The county treasury, Mr. Speaker, to submit financial year 2026-2027 county procurement plan to the Assembly, and the procurement plan by 30th September 2026. And this is very important, Mr. Speaker, if we want to implement the projects for this financial year early enough, in line with the previous House resolution, and all procurement of goods and works must be completed by December, and contractors must be on site before end of January, minimize project rollovers, improved budget absorption, and prevent further accumulation of pending bills. Mr. Speaker, the administration, coordination, and budgetary management of Kikoska Games be vested in the Department of Public Service and Administration. And I want to inform this House that we realized that we have been allocating money for Kikoska. Then the committee was getting a lot of feedback from the public participation, from the staffs themselves, of how poor this money has been managed. Our staffs have been going for games without proper uniforms. Sometimes they lack the most basic of equipment. So for proper management of this money, we realize that the department that has been hosting the money must be doing a lot of injustice to it. And the committee was recommending, and that is if this House approves, that that money be housed under the Department of Public Service and Administration, that is headed by the CS and the governor, and to promote effective interdepartmental coordination. And then lastly, Mr. Speaker, the CCM for Lands, Physical Planning, Housing, and Urban Development provide proper definition and description of projects number 1, 2, 6, and 7 listed under development component to enhance budgetary credibility and effective oversight, Mr. Speaker. On financial recommendation, Mr. Speaker, and members, I really want you to take keen notice on this, because these are recommendations by the committee which we are seeking your approval. Based on deliberation and putting into account the fiscal responsibility principles, the committee recommends that this House resolves, 1, we are requesting this House as a committee, Mr. Speaker, that the total county revenue projection be approved at Kenya shillings 14 billion, 276,638,826. And Mr. Speaker, in line with the revenue streams under the resource envelope presented as second schedule. And if you are very keen, Mr. Speaker, you can realize that the committee is now requesting an increment, because earlier I had read our budget to be at 11.7. So the committee is requesting so that our revenue projection be approved at Kenya shillings, and I'm repeating this, at 14,276,638,826, in line with the revenue streams under the resource envelope presented in the second schedule of this report. The total revenue comprises one, and I want you to be very keen what has increased it from 11 billion to 14. The receivables at Kenya shillings 1,098,842,770, and equitable share, which has remained the same at Kenya shillings 9,181,372,763. And then conditional grants at Kenya shillings 1,662,129,399. And now on source, now you remember initially it was at 1.4. Now the committee is requesting this house to approve on source revenue at 2,334,293,893. I will attempt to explain why we are requesting the on source be able to move a little bit high to be able to cater for the following needs that we'll be reading. One, Mr. Speaker, that the total budget estimate for the financial year 2026-27 be approved, just as read, at 14.2 billion and appropriated to various sectors department as presented in the first schedule of this report. The recurrent expenditure, Mr. Speaker, that the current recurrent expenditure for the financial year 2026-27 budget estimates be approved at Kenyan shillings 8,544,312,366 as presented in the first schedule of this report. That the recurrent expenditure comprises one, out of the 8.5 billion, Mr. Speaker, the personnel emolument at Kenya shillings, we are requesting the House to approve at 5,548,779,614, and O&M at Kenya shillings 2,995,532,753. On development expenditure, Mr. Speaker, that the total capital stock development expenditure for the financial year 2026-27 budget estimate be approved at Kenyan shillings 5,732,326,456 as justified in the first schedule of this report. Allocation for the County Assembly, Mr. Speaker, that the County Assembly recurrent expenditure for the financial year 2026-27 be approved at Kenyan shillings 899,826,065 in line with the CARA 2026. And development for the Assembly, which the County Assembly development for 2026-27 be approved at 104 to fund the contractual price variation for the completion of at a modern county assembly. Allocation for pending bill, Mr. Speaker, that the budgetary allocation for the development of pending bills be approved at Kenya shillings 587,358,284 as underlined under Annex, that is Annex 8. We have annexed the pending bills, and then allocation for all of our projects. That the budgetary allocation for all of our projects carried forward for the financial year 2026-27 be approved at Kenya shillings 2,249,399,112 as presented also as Annex, this is 9. We've also presented a list for the all of our projects, and we request members to ensure that they go through it so that if there is any variation, we can also contact our clerks. But again, I want to inform the House that the list has been provided, but if you're very keen, it is a draft list because it is subject to changes. As we speak today, the county has also not made payments. So there are projects that will have gone through the cut. And of course, we are also trying to safeguard projects that might not have been paid by end of day today. So either the list will go up or down depending on the results of payment, because we are not able to know as a committee what has been paid and what has not been paid. So we request the indulgence of the House. Of course, there is a lot of reservations for projects to be taken under pending bill, and the committee is giving that consideration so that as we complete the administration of Professor Peter Nyang'nyong'o, we also safeguard some of these contractors and service providers, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that the House approve in comparison of 653,981,246 FIF revenue projection and expenditure for the financial year 2026-2027. And this is money that we expect to collect from all our health facilities. And I can remember during the committee meeting, the chair for health was very particular about the FIF money. So it stands at 653,981,246. That is for all the health facilities. Mr. Speaker, recommendations to enhance prudent spending through the expenditure rationalization and allocation for ward-based development projects priorities, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the committee requests this House to approve a total of not less than Kenya shillings 875 million sourced from rationalization of non-essential and unjustified budget items to be allocated towards implementation of ward-based development projects priorities identified by members of the public during validation public participation conducted by the Assembly and presented as under Annex 2. Mr. Speaker, during public participation, there was a lot of concern by members of the public in terms of how the basket was shared in different wards. Then we realized that to equalize, Mr. Speaker, or to bring some sense of equity, we have allocated 875 million for ward-based projects. And consequently, Mr. Speaker, each ward be allocated a minimum of 25 million to promote equitable and fair resource distribution across all wards, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, the justification for this is also in our public participation report, so that you realize that members of the public are very particular, so that they ensure that development goes across all the wards, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on KIPE feasibility study, that the 50 million earmarked for the KIPE feasibility study be struck off and the funds redirected to address existing expenditure gaps in the budget. The committee noted that it will be imprudent to commit resources to a feasibility study before addressing fundamental implementation challenges such as land acquisition, demonstration of value for money, since not a single success story has been told even from other regions where the projects has been implemented. On Pinyluo Regional Cultural Festival, Kisumu edition, that the allocation of 13 million for the Pinyluo Cultural Festival be struck off and the funds reallocated to address critical expenditure gaps within the budget. The committee noted that the estimated cost of the event, which stood at 50 million, hence the department requested an additional 37. So the department requested a total of 87 million. However, upon review, it was observed that several expenditure items were significantly overstated, raising concerns regarding the value for money. And therefore, the committee was recommending that if the department can have partners to be able to fund this, as opposed to the 87 million that they were requesting. Allocation for Jomo Kenyatta Stadium, that the Kenya shillings 13,422,995 allocated towards various infrastructural development, improvement of Jomo Kenyatta Stadium be struck off, and the funds reallocated to address critical expenditure gaps in the budget. Moreover, no allocation should be made to Jomo Kenyatta Stadium until the ownership dispute is formally addressed. And you are aware, members, that LSK is also claiming ownership of that stadium. And as we speak today, the county government of Kisumu is not able to collect any revenue from that stadium. And then allocation for Mamboleo Slaughterhouse, that the 40 million allocated towards automation of Mamboleo Slaughterhouse be struck off and the funds reallocated to address critical expenditure gaps in the budget. The committee noted that the expenditure item proposed under the allocation bear no direct linkage to automation of the slaughterhouse, undermining the principle of openness and credibility in budgeting, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on machine-based program, that the proposed 100 million allocation for machine-based program be reduced to 50 million for state maintenance of machine during financial year. The 50 million saved through the above reduction be allocated to address critical expenditure gaps in the budget, and that the approved machine-based allocation of 50 million be utilized as follows. 1, fuel for 21 million, supply of Maram and Hardco at 4 million, plant and equipment repair at 20 million, and acquisition of tire equipment at 5 million. That gives a total of 50 million. Consideration of supplementary requests from various departments. Members, as we were doing the interrogation, there were several requests from departments so that the committee could either influence so that their department's budget in terms of O&M and development are enhanced based on certain considerations. Allow me to read that the county treasury, that is on O&M budgets, and the committee was very hesitant in granting those requests because we felt that as a budget committee, if a department requires enhancement of its O&M budget, then there should be a scientific way based on previous data that we had in terms of consumption and need, and there should be a particular need or something that warrants increment of that. And therefore, the county treasury review and consideration of additional O&M funding requests submitted by respective sectors for set effective and efficient service delivery. In undertaking this review, the committee felt that the county treasury to prioritize allocation based on demonstrated need, service delivery, operatives, and value for money, while taking into account the prevailing fiscal constraints and the need for prudent expenditure, rationalization. The adjustment the adjusted budget to be submitted to the Assembly prior to tabling of the Appropriation Bill 2026 for consideration. And at that stage, you realize that there will be some amendments to be made to the bill. On education, technical training, innovation, and social services, the committee approved the request to recruit, and this has to be very clear, that the committee approved the request to recruit additional 100 ECD teachers to address staffing gaps in ECD centers across the county. Further, the requisite funds for remuneration of the recruited teachers be provided for under the Department of Public Service, County Administration, and Pastoral Development. Additionally, the department to furnish the County Public Service Board with its current staff establishment, that is what I read earlier, and their recruitment plan, justify the gaps within the 2 weeks of adoption of this report, Mr. Speaker. And then again, Public Service, County Administration, Participatory Development Office of the Governor. The committee approves an additional request of 28 million with development expenditure component to finance the following, Mr. Speaker. 1, equipping of the 8 completed ward administrator office, Mr. Speaker. We have 8 ward administrators office that have been completed, and therefore, when the department presented, the committee felt the need to grant the 16 million so that all the 8 offices be equipped. And then 2, construction of 2 new ward administration offices, that is 1 at Kabonyo Kanyagwal Ward at 6 million and Kolua East at again 6 million, that is 12. So total of that is 8 million that the committee approved, and we are also requesting the House to be able to approve the money. On medical services, public health and sanitation, the committee approves that the proposed allocation of insurance cost be reduced from, this was internal realignment, there was 65 million for the department. Therefore, it did not warrant introduction of new money, and the department had proposed that the insurance cost be reduced from 65 million to 35 million, resulting in a saving of 30 million. This adjustment was informed by the national government decision to finance maternity deliveries at level 2 and 3 health facilities through SHA, thereby reducing the county's insurance expenditure requirement for that, for the maternity. And therefore, the saving of 30 million, Mr. Speaker, the committee approved the departmental request to apply it as follows. 1, 15 million of that to be allocated to digital transformation, and then the remaining 15 million be allocated to procurement, replacement, and upgrading of essential medical equipment across all the health facilities. Further approved 5 million to be allocated to revamp Masanga dispensary, which was rendered non-operational because of a fire incident. Therefore, the committee also granted 5 million to be able to ensure that Masanga dispensary is in a working condition. Under sports, culture, gender, and youth affairs, Mr. Speaker, the committee approved the request for additional allocation of 4 million for Kikoska Games to augment its insufficient provision, because we realized that even the 14 million that was proposed was not enough for all the staff. And the committee approved an additional 4 million to make the figure 18. And consequently, the administration, coordination, and budgetary management of Kikoska Games be vested in the Department of Public Service Administration, Special Development and Office of the Governor under the County Secretary to promote effective interdepartmental coordination and enhance participation of county staff in the sporting and cultural activities. Under water, environment, and natural resource, Mr. Speaker, that the Kenya shillings 16.5 million be granted out of the additional request. They requested an additional 142,880,000, but the committee only approved an addition of 16.5 for the operationalization of the Kisumu County Rural Water Company, that is Kirwasco, aimed at enhancing access to safe, affordable, and reliable water services in the peri-urban and rural areas of Kisumu County. Under infrastructure, energy, and public works, the committee approved that a total of 25 million to be sourced within the existing departmental budget for state implementation of the following projects. So this money was not sourced outside. The department was instructed to do its own internal realignment to be able to fund these 3 projects. 1, box culvert at Kobura Ward along Rabur Cadet Nyangande Road at 5 million. And then there's a box culvert in Kolua East at 15 million and a box culvert in Southwest along Usare Rota Road at 5 million. The department has been given leeway to rearrange its own budget and to be able to finance the 25 million project. Under the City of Kisumu, Mr. Speaker, that the request for additional allocation for City of Kisumu proposed budget be approved as outlined under committee resolution as captured on the fourth column of the matrix. And I want to request members to be keen on the fourth column because they had very many requests. One, the department had requested an additional 201,510,972, and this was on their O&M. But the committee, after consideration, we realized that we could not scientifically ascertain if truly the Department of City needed 201 million. And therefore, we told them that we leave that to the Treasury to be able to determine based on a need basis. So as a committee, we did not grant the 201 increment for the O&M for City. And then number two, recurrent, that is under personnel emolument. The department had requested 120 million. And this 120 million was for the employment of 400 staff. But again, the committee approved 60 to facilitate recruitment of 200 staff at entry level job group. Limited resource basket, hence the need to rationalize the expenditure. So we only approved 60 as a committee. And then number three, there is what we call development land bank. The Department of City was also requesting an additional 712,200,000, and this was for land bank. Then again, after serious interrogation and scrutinizing their request, the committee also only approved 50 million for purchase of 10 acres of land to resettle SK currently occupying Jomo Kenyatta Stadium and to address the ownership dispute on the stadium. We realize the issue of the stadium is a big issue, and of course, there are negotiations at the level of the governor and the president. So we have allocated something so that as the governor attempts to negotiate with the president so that LSK grants us that land, we are giving them an alternative. We are proposing 50 million, and the amount is said to be in accordance with the prevailing land rate. So how did we arrive at the 50 million? We realized that approximately, if where they want to look for land, 1 acre at the highest level could be around 5 million, and they are looking for 10 acres. So that is how we arrived at 50 million. So it could be plus or minus based on the reality on the ground. Nyamara says, Saria Bus Park. The department requested 51 million for its completion. The committee granted to enable completion and operationalization as a legacy project in line with the governor's appeal on safeguarding its legacy, county development, priorities and prioritization of stalled projects and to realization of value for money. And then Mamboleo Cemetery, City was also requesting 54,844,304, which the committee rejected, and reason was limited physical space, prompting expenditure realization. So under City, we only approved an additional 60 million for recruitment of 200 staff, 50 million for purchase of land, and probably the 51 million for Nyamaria Bus Park, Mr. Speaker, under land, physical planning, housing, and urban development, the committee approved that the allocation for construction of phase 3 of the Katito Paponditi Municipal Headquarters be expunged from lands, physical planning, housing, and urban development budget and be assigned to the respective municipality for implementation. Mr. Speaker, the committee recommends that the report for the County Budget and Committee and the budget estimates for the County Executive or the County Assembly for the financial year 2027 be approved by this House, Mr. Speaker. And again, we approve that the first schedule of this report forms the basis of the financial year 2026-2027 appropriation bill, which a copy has been given all our members as we speak here, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, it is therefore my pleasant undertaking on behalf of the County Budget and Appropriation Committee to table this report in this House and recommend its adoption, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, I move the motion, Mr. Speaker. I really want to plead with this House to be able to adopt this report, being one of our last implementable. People are saying the last budget, but I believe we still have one budget to pass. But in terms of implementation, this could be our only last implementable budget, Mr. Speaker. And there, Mr. Speaker, after so many words, I want to call upon Honorable Warindu. Second. Thank you very much.
Yes, Honorable.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to second the report that has been ably read by my chair of Budget and Appropriation Committee. Mr. Speaker, from the onset, let me thank the committee members and the House at large for giving us a humble time to come up with a very elaborate report on our budget making. Mr. Speaker, budget is a strategic roadmap for the county finances. It tells us that how we are going to get our revenues and how we are going to spend them. And we need to be in line with to live within our means and control impulsive spending and proactively build wealth to reach both short-term and long-term goals that the county government of Kisumu is having. Mr. Speaker, after going through the report, I was asking myself if our report and the budget estimates has met the core principles of budgeting. The first one was, does it align the allocation that we are expecting with the priorities that we have? Mr. Speaker, if you go through the report one by one and through the departments, you realize that the departments were placing their allocations on priorities that are needed by the people of Kisumu. We were really trying to insist and advise that since this is a legacy budget, we need to place much importance on the projects that are incompleted so that they can be completed during this tenure of Professor Governor Nyong'o's term. If you go through the departments one by one, there were key priorities that they were giving us, and they were in line with the motto of the budget that we are having. On the land department, we had to allocate some money for completion of county special plan and evaluation role. And I believe all the members knows the importance, what importance this will bring to the county. If you go to the education department, we had bursary and scholarship allocation, and the recommendation that is being given by the committee is that it should be paid early enough so that we can have value. Our students can have value for money. Again, the education department also requested for recruitment of 100 ECD teachers, which the committee agreed to. On infrastructure and public works, we had one of the major projects there, upgrading of Assad Road, which is a legacy project to the governor. And on medical services, there was CHV's remuneration and completion of health facilities and even equipping of new health facilities that have been completed. On water and environment department, we had operationalization of Kirwasco, and I believe if it's put in place, it will give us the same services that the Kirwasco is currently offering the urban centers. Mr. Speaker, number 2, does our budget track and control expenses? If you listen keenly to the report that the chairman was giving, we had to cut off some of the departmental proposals that were not in line with the motive of the legacy budget. And again, we really wanted this budget to be as realistic as possible so that we can have our programs and plans implemented as they have been budgeted for. Number 3, we were looking at does it set goals and achievement? And again, with the inadequate resources available, the main question there was how can we make sure that the wishes of the residents of our county are broken into actionable and measurable targets. And that's why we were insisting and requesting that most of the incomplete projects should be completed. Mr. Speaker, the residents that we have there, they only see the value of money if the projects that were initiated are completed and are put in use. And the last one was does it manages and reduces stress? This is to the staff of the county assembly and even to the contractors that are working with the county assembly. And if you look at the budget keenly, you'll find there's allocation for pending bills of almost 587 million, and there's an allocation for rollover of almost 2.4 billion. And I think this will help all the people that are dealing with the county government. Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I would really like to urge the Assembly to adopt the report so that we start afresh, moving towards the next years. And I second Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable members,
Committee. And I believe if you guys can agree to adopt this report, we will move fast with the appropriation so that we can push for the implementation of this project. However, members, I want to request that after passing this budget, let's all move into actualizing now the budget estimates. Let's work on early procurement of these projects. Let's work on implementation of this project after procurement, because what the people want is not a budget passed in this assembly. What the people want are services. What the people want are projects. What the people want are those ECD classrooms that have not been completed to be completed. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Nyauke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me also join my colleague in appreciating the good report that has been brought by the able chair, the incoming, let me say, just say the incoming, and apparently and possibly the budget chair, the National Assembly from 2027. Mr. Speaker, this particular report is so brief to the point. It has got no madogodonio like before, because you look at each and every department, you find they are precisely putting exactly what they need and what they anticipate, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what makes me...
Of order, speak.
Remember, what is the point of order?
Honorable Speaker, no, this house we can only speak in English, Kiswahili, or sign language. The members used a word that we are not aware of, whether it's Greek, madogodonio. We might just keep quiet, but he might be saying very ugly words in this house. Could he explain what madogodonio means?
Honorable Seth, what was the word?
Madogodonio.
Honorable Tom Nyauke.
Mr. Speaker, sometimes when the Holy Spirit appears, and when you are too happy, the Holy Spirit takes precedence, Mr. Speaker. That's another language that we use, particularly when you are visited by the Holy Spirit. Mr. Speaker,
we are not in a religious gathering. So please, you need to explain to the members what you mean and proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Madogodonio means it has got no, it's very straightforward, something simple that you can easily understand. That's what I mean by that. Mr. Speaker, what makes me happy about this particular report is the precise presentation, particularly if you look at a Department of Education. They have worked on something which has been disturbing us. You remember, in the previous financial year, we had a lot of issues regarding bursary allocation. And Mr. Speaker, it is expressly highlighted here that we are going to have that specific amount of money for bursary and even scholarships, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to say also, last week I visited one of my vocational training center in North Nyakach Ward called Kandaria VTC. Mr. Speaker, what I saw there is a requirement that we need to have some machines for the students, because there are a lot of students, but they lack sufficient tools and equipment that they need to use during their practicals. And Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the department for looking into that and appropriating some funds towards buying those tools for our VTCs, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the also other thing is, if you look at infrastructure, Mr. Speaker, I want also to give them a thumbs up for considering the rollover projects that, in fact, not even only the infrastructure department, but also other departments too, which have considered it wise also to roll over certain projects that were not carried out this financial year, so that we are able to finish them in the next financial year. Mr. Speaker, with that few remarks, I also wish to implore upon my fellow members for us to move very fast. But Mr. Speaker, even after adopting this report, Mr. Speaker, I think we really need to come out as members strongly enough to make sure that the implementation is also followed immediately. I believe the chair for implementation, if this will fall into your hands, then I think the work should start immediately. The time frame has been given. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to support.
Honorable Pamela of Migosi Ward. Honorable Akwacha, I've noticed you, but you know, we have to look at seniority, we have to look at gender. But I've noticed you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for recognizing my seniority as a long-term member of this House. As a ranking member, the whip has said, Mr. Speaker, I want to support this budget. It is a modest budget, very eloquent, and it is a good budget, I want to say. The budget will leave a legacy for the governor. Remember, we are coming up with an ultra-modern assembly. And this budget has included its final touches of the ultra-modern assembly. And I want to say the budget has empowered youths and women. What is remaining is this budget is just implementation. I want to thank the Honorable Chair of the budget who has read the budget eloquently. And I want to thank the committee members of the budget and the House at large for cooperating with the Committee of Budget to come up with this modest budget. I support.
Honorable Vincent Jagongo.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for giving me this time. I also want to echo my voice, first in requesting the members to adopt the report. Mr. Speaker, I also want to thank the executive for considering the municipalities. Mr. Speaker, I've been championing for the support to be given to the municipalities so that they can their operations. Mr. Speaker, the municipalities were formed 3 years ago. And up to now, there's very minimal activities going on within those municipalities. And that's why I want to support that this time around, money has been allocated for P&P, that is over 1 million, O&M is again over 6 million, and for development that is 20 million. I think with this budget, this will enable the municipality to operate and to ensure that our people get services closer to them within the 5 municipalities. Mr. Speaker, I also want to support the report on health. That is, they've empowered the CHPs, Mr. Speaker, giving the CHPs allocation for empowering them, and also it means they are supporting level 1 hospital. And again, on the health department, completion of the health centers and dispensaries that were not completed is also a good move, and equipping all of them and staffing them. I think that will also help us to get medicine and also to get treated close to our people. Mr. Speaker, the issue of bursaries and scholarships, I also want to support it. And I want just to say that the disbursement of this bursary within the first half of the year may not be practical, because we all understand that scholarship are always given after the Form 1s have reported. And that is in the second half of the year. That is from January onwards. So
as we adopt the report, let us look at the issue of the timeline for the disbursement of these bursaries and scholarship to consider our Form 1s or the grade 10s when they'll be joining the secondary school. Otherwise, I stand to support the report. Thank you.
Honorable James Omolo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also stand to support this report of the Budget Committee. Mr. Speaker, it is a very fair budget. I was only worried about the rollover, but when we were given the list, I think this afternoon, we saw a better list than what I expected. And that shows that as a committee, they are really in charge to make sure that even those who had done the projects are paid in time during this implementation period of this new budget. Mr. Speaker, on bursaries, we have an allocation. I think what majorly now remains for us is to pass the bill on bursaries so that we can implement it in a faster way than what happened last year. That would be better. Mr. Speaker, on healthcare, it is very good that the report is stating that all the dispensary and health centers which were not completed to be completed and be operationalized. I think that is a very good move. Devolution meant that our people should not walk far from where they are to get medical services, and that one will enhance service delivery to our people. Mr. Speaker, on ECD, I think Chair Education mentioned that I have 28 schools, and as we speak, even now, Andingo Panga ECD Center has no teacher, despite the fact that we have employed several. Mr. Speaker, this is because Andingo Panga happens to be the Turkana of this county. So even if you employ somebody from Seme to go and work there, he or she will come back to Kisumu. He will go somewhere else. So I think affirmatively, there should be a way when the employment is being done by the Public Service Board to consider those who are in those remote areas. Because even if we employ 20 hundreds of ECD teachers and take them to Andingo, they will still come back. They have tried since 2013 to date. It is the same scenario. It is very sad. But thanks to this report, we are going to have additional teachers so that our ECD centers should have at least 2 or 1 ECD teacher for all of us. And if you check the capitation for the ECD centers, the capitation for the VTC centers, it's a good move. Mr. Speaker, we are the watchdog of the public. And when we see such a report, we are very convinced that we are doing the right thing to the communities we serve or the communities we represent in this house. Mr. Speaker, the only thing remaining now is implementing these projects in time so that our people can get services. We have the ward admins offices which were done just recently. It is good in this report, they are going to be equipped, the 8 of them, and there are 2 additional ward offices coming up in this budget. I think that's a good move. Our people need services within their reach. And having these ward admins offices equipped and operationalized brings services to our people. Whether it is bursary forms, whether it is agriculture, whichever is default, they will get in these ward offices. And I think that is a very good move. And I want to thank the chair and the team that we trusted you with this work. And I think so far, so good. You've done a good job. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
I think we have not got a member from Nyando, so I give Honorable Chele.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, despite the fact that I come from Nyando, I'm a chair. So I'm a member, a full member of the cabinet. When I saw them struggling,
you are right, Honorable Chele.
I knew the vote will not land on them. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have just one word. That for the first time in the life of the Third Assembly, a budget has been brought which pleases all faces because there's equity and there's maximum consideration of the plight of the common man at the grassroots. Of most importance, Mr. Speaker, is the case of Honorable Benio Ikopet, a member for Kabonyo Kanyagwal. Mr. Speaker, this member has struggled with the ward office, construction of ward office, to an extent where all the budgets have been coming, but he has not been succeeding, simply because he didn't have any parcel for such. But as at now, he has a parcel and the committee of budget, so it fit to grant him such. And I want to believe, Mr. Speaker, that going by everything, Honorable Member, my brother Benny, is a happy man, that his prayer has been answered. And I don't expect that he'll come to negate anything on the budget. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I beseech members that if it is good, then the largest and the biggest part, the most important part of it is to appropriate. If you can move with speed and appropriate these monies to various functions, that will be better, because the Speaker will be repeating because everybody else is happy. Thank you.
Honorable Kelvin Raro.
Mr. Speaker, it's very wrong for a member to just assume that everyone is happy. Mr. Speaker, why? The reason why members are given opportunity to speak is to give their own opinion on something. I've taken my time, read the
Honorable Kelvin, it looks like you are on a point of order.
Not really, Mr. Speaker. I've just started by saying that the last speaker on the floor was very happy and saying that everyone is happy. We should just assume this now, the opinion, and move to the next step. I wanted to say, as I'm a teacher or somebody who understands mathematics, when I had the chair of budget talking about 14 billion, then I see my ward adjacent to the city, and I see actually a lot that is still needed to be done. And looking at that, this is the second last budget that we have the privilege to approve. Next year being the last budget, I felt like we are just making a precedent, Mr. Speaker, that the next governor that the Kisumu County will automatically copy. At the moment you'll copy whatever is going on as a way to please us, I want to say, and whatever I'm saying to be unanswered, that the way budgeting is being done, a new approach should be given. This one you are going to approve. But a new approach should be given in such a way that when you want to give a budget to a certain locality, there are a lot of things that we need to look at. I can choose to have a road, 3 million, same amount of money like the one in Manyatabi ward. Then when you critically examine, you realize that maybe a Manyatabi ward road can be around 500 meters with 3 million, and it will be done to a certain level compared to a road in Kolwa Central, 3 million, which is around 1.5 kilometers. Mr. Speaker, when you look at the budget, you look at the population, you look at the area there, and many other things. I'm bringing that because sometimes I feel when we talk about equality, and we talk about, let's say, the world-based projects, which I congratulate or salute Honorable Swaga for doing justice to all members, there are other things that we need to look at. And I'm trying to read how they tend to allocate CDF money and some of the things they tend to consider. And I hope some of those things should always form the recommendation so that even in the next planning, whoever will be the CEC member for finance will always consider a certain precedent when it comes to budgeting. This one is gone, Mr. Speaker, and this one will say that we approve. But in everything that we say, there is something we can learn. I, as a person, feel like Kolwa Central hosts, or that is a place where many residents from Kisumu Central tend to reside in. And if you look at the challenges that we are having, if you look at the location that you are getting, it is not enough. We talk about, you go to radio, issue of security, you talk about many other issues, and you look at the priorities. Sometimes it becomes so difficult. Some of the people we represent in this assembly, others come from different wards, do business in town, and they tend to reside in Kolwa Central Lake. I host around 10 MCAs. Many staff, many workers in the assembly. They come, they ask for maybe budget because they need certain things. And because we don't have a certain parameter of doing allocation, we assume that things are just okay. I want to put this in black and white, that if we'll be lucky in the next assembly with the new governor, don't use this trend. We are not building a county. In fact, we are missing a lot of things that is actually missing in terms of development, in terms of business opportunity, in terms of many other things that should be done. But for the sake of the legacy of Professor Nyang' Nyong'o, assuming that this budget is actually achieving that, I approve it, I support it, and I urge the new Kisumu Central MP in 2027 that you have done a good work for Professor, and the budget is always friendly to him. And I believe that this budget will nail the legacy of Professor Nyang' Nyong'o. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Honorable Ken Ouko.
Good.
I can see some members complaining. I did provide the resolution that we did on 18th February, and we said that the leader majority in that order. So Honorable Ouko is a chair of a very serious committee. Honorable Ouko, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for protecting me. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to stand here to be part of the conversation in the House by supporting the motion of the Appropriation Bill 2026. Mr. Speaker, I'm standing here
Honorable
to confirm.
Ouko, I don't know if Honorable Ouko is in the House, because I believe the motion that was moved was very clear. Honorable Ken Ouko.
Thank you. Budget estimates for 2026-2027, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, our House is to give legal and financial framework on how we are going to use our money. And it is always very important that we get that from the House. Mr. Speaker, we need to move. We need to do our projects. We need to pay our employees. We also need to run the county in different ways. Without this, Mr. Speaker, we can be stuck. But I have some 2 or 3 issues. At times, we need to put a lot of pressure on the arm of the House, like Budget Committee. And you can see members are now happy because of the pressure we were putting on the committee. And we must also appreciate the committee for working hard to deliver on our expectations. Mr. Speaker, the budget may be very good like the one we have here. But Mr. Speaker, when it comes to implementations of all this, when we invite the executive to account for the fund appropriated, like now we are appropriating the fund, they have always been failing to account for the funds to meet the expectations of the people, because this is a public fund. I would also like that, as much as we are passing this budget now, and it will be implemented, let those who are given the responsibility to deliver on implementations be accountable and be responsible, so that now we can get the best services so far. Mr. Speaker, I've just said that many a times, even the funds where we are appropriating the money, even the municipalities, even the hospitals, even the Kisumu City, Mr. Speaker, when they come here, they fail to account for these funds, and it is quite unfortunate. That is what is expected of them. Mr. Speaker, I must also point one issue here concerning FLOCA. The donors released money by February. Mr. Speaker, until this time, not even a single project has been procured. Why do we have money? We are given money by the donors, and we fail to use that money because of incompetency of some officers. Mr. Speaker, it is very important that we use this money, or else the donors will be withdrawing from these projects. Mr. Speaker, we also have issues where monies are appropriated, and Jaramogi Hospital is also included in this to be a beneficiary. And it is known that we had transferred even the assets and everything to the national government, even the employees. Why do we now appropriate more money to Jaramogi? Why, really? Why do we need that? Because here it is indicated that part of the money which is going to be there is Kisumu District Hospital, Jaramogi. It is also indicated here. So it is quite unfortunate. We need to make such kind of corrections so that now we don't do double allocations to places which don't belong to counties. Mr. Speaker, I support the budget. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Rakwach, and the next will be Honorable Were.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also rise to support the budget report that has just been read by our able chair, Honorable Joachim Mukech. Honorable Speaker, since this is the last implementable budget, that one is very key, and we call it a legacy budget for that matter, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to start by commending the committee. This is a very commendable job that the committee did. I being also a member, because this is a well-balanced budget. It has the component of rollover. That one is the development. We have a component of rollover, pending bills, and the new projects under the ward-based projects together with some of the legacy, very important legacy projects, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we know we have a lot of rollover. This was occasioned by the poor weather, which really affected the implementation of projects, especially the roads. And these are projects which are very dear to the people of this county. We had some fears that sometimes, if at all they were not rolled over, then our pending bill was going to grow. And the contractors have also been lamenting. They have even petitioned the assembly to look into the growth of this pending bill. And the committee thought it wise to even allocate money for pending bills in each and every department. Honorable Chair, or Honorable Speaker, the ward-based projects, I think we go, our wards and some little enhancement from 20 million last year to 25 million this year. And this one, looking at the nature of the projects that are in this report, they are projects which are even going to change the shape of this county. Like if you look at some projects in Market Milimani Ward, Honorable Speaker, you see the cabro work. And it is the cabro work that has even beautified the pathways in this town, Honorable Speaker. And I think they were done by some conditional grants sometimes. But today, we have them as ward-based, being funded by CRF, Honorable Speaker. And this one is very commendable, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the deal may look too good, but if timely implementation is not done, then our work today will be fruitless, Honorable Speaker. In the report, it is indicated that by 31st of July, the implementation plan, the procurement plan, must have reached this assembly. We'll be there to remind the implementation chair if we don't see it, so that we push as an assembly to have it here so that implementation start immediately. Honorable Speaker, there is one thing that I forgot to see, that I did not see in the report. That is the bursary. Because bursary has been paid for Form 4, Form 3, and Grade 10. But the college students have not yet been paid for bursary. I don't even know whether the departments has received that money from the Treasury. I wish to see it in the rollover because the financial year is ending today. I don't know whether it is going to be paid as pending bill or as rollover. And maybe it is neither appearing in the rollover or in the pending bill. I think that is something that we should start thinking about. And at the same time, how I wish, Honorable Speaker, that this coming financial year, we have our bursary money given to the department before February, so that by February, we can have our students paid for. Honorable Speaker, this one will keep them at school. So that basis of choosing the beneficiaries on a needy and bright basis, some students don't suffer the fate of being not bright because they were sent away from school when other students were learning. Because what we check is just the performance, the report form. If you are at home when others are learning, your report form will not be good. And maybe you will be judged otherwise, but not as being bright, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, another thing that I want to say is that there was a report about the procurement in the entire Kenya. There is a system, EGP, that is Electronic Government Procurement System. And it was realized that Kisumu County was the best, with the Department of Roads leading nationally. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, if at all the delay in the implementation in Kisumu County may have been caused partly by introduction of this EGP, Honorable Speaker, I would request that since other counties have also done their procurement manually, Honorable Speaker, we can strike a balance as a county so that we have some projects being implemented with the EGP system as others are being procured manually so that we hit our deadline. Honorable Speaker, I pray that by December this year, we can have all our projects procured and implemented. If that one is done, then I think we shall have served the best interest of the people who elected us to this assembly. Otherwise, I support. Thank you.
James Were.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also rise to support the passage of report on county budget and appropriation committee. Mr. Speaker, this report shows that this is a well-balanced budget. And Mr. Speaker, this seeks to promote service delivery within Kisumu County. Mr. Speaker, it will also promote socioeconomic development of our county, and this budget provides funding for key sectors within the Kisumu County. That is health, trade, agriculture, road, water, education,
sports and gender. Mr. Speaker, the passing of the budget is just one step. Passing of the budget is just the first step, Mr. Speaker. But what matters most is the implementation. We must ensure that there are measures that are taken in place when implementation will be taking place. Mr. Speaker, we must ensure that our own source revenue is enhanced for us to have a successful implementation of this budget. Mr. Speaker, we must also strengthen our financial accountability to ensure that whatever we do is going to be to the benefit of our people. However, Mr. Speaker, I noted two important observations that require correction during implementation. Mr. Speaker, this budget omitted the role of a project in Nyalenda B, that is desiltation and river trenching of River Nyamasaria, which was allocated 2 million. I think, Mr. Speaker, that should be corrected because it is a critical flood mitigation to the residents of Nyalenda B. And I think that should be corrected. Number two, Mr. Speaker, it is noted that under Trade Department, there are two projects that are supposed to be done at Ipo Point, which have been erroneously captured under Nyalenda A, and that should be corrected under Nyalenda B. Mr. Speaker, despite these observations, Mr. Speaker, I support this budget, and I believe, and I want to say, that this is the budget, the very, very good budget that has been done by this county and approved by this noble committee under the stewardship of Joachim Okech. I therefore beg to support, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Chief Whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this report for estimates on revenue and expenditure for the financial year 2026-27, which I am a member of the Budget and Appropriation Committee, led by my chairman, my friend, the MCO Kondele, Honorable Joachim Okech Swaga. Mr. Speaker, my contributions will be based on recommendations by the committee. They are critical recommendations which were done by the committee. And Mr. Speaker, there have been songs which have been sung in this assembly since I came to this assembly, that is the year 2017. Mr. Speaker, this issue of staff establishment, the county government of Kisumu has even hired consultants to do staff audit. Yet, as an assembly, we have never seen those staff audits. If the chair of labor, or the chair of justice, good governance, and session of law, Honorable Chele, if their committees have seen those reports, they will tell us. Because the chair did talk about the issues of the county doing staff, bringing to the assembly and staff establishment. Mr. Speaker, you can remember during your end, before you employed in this assembly as the county assembly service board, there was a staff rationalization which was done to establish whether the staffs we have can serve in the cadres which the assembly wanted to employ on. And the staff rationalization was done. Members of the staff of this county assembly were placed where they deserve to be in. And then advertisements were done there to Mr. Speaker. I think that was an orderly improvement by this assembly. On our part as a county government, Kisumu County is the only county whereby advertisement is done on a position of a director where there's an existing director. Kisumu County is the only county whereby we do advertise positions, staffs are hired, directors are hired on contract. Their contract expires after 3 years. Then you will find him or her employed on a permanent basis without the assembly even appropriating money towards that cause, Mr. Speaker. I think this one will portray us, even when another government will come in, Mr. Speaker, I think it will portray us in a very bad manner, Mr. Speaker. So that we cure this issue of huge wage bill. We have two problems, pending bills and huge wage bill. But I believe the issue wage bill will be cured by doing a proper audit on the staff establishment. Another issue I wanted to talk about is the issue of development. That is money appropriated towards the completion of Mollem Bus Park. Mollem Bus Park is going to affect two wards. That's my ward, Market Milimani ward, and Honorable Kelvin Soraro's ward. And there has been a misconception about the Mollem Bus Park, and which I want to make clear as a member of County Assembly representing Market Milimani ward, where they are going to decongest, not relocate. It is decongesting the existing bus park. I think this one should be taken with seriousness. And I implore the city manager, Mr. Speaker, that he involves the leaders. Even the public participation, Mr. Speaker, was done yesterday. I was not aware. Kelvin Oraro also was not aware. And yet, they want to decongest the bus park in my ward to relocate it to the Mollem Bus Park in Honorable Kelvin Soraro's ward. That's why we find ourselves as a county government in problems while trying to implement some of the serious projects. That project has taken a lot of money. And even today, we are appropriating 51 million shillings to that. So I implore the city manager to take the work of decongesting the bus park with the seriousness it deserves. Mr. Speaker, finally, the issue of bursaries. We are disbursing bursaries at the tail end of the financial year. While today we are appropriating money, 205 million towards bursary. I implore the Department of Education through my chairmanship, my friend, Roberto Kumu, my namesake, to ensure that at the end of each and every year, they should make sure that when the students are going back to school, as a county government, we do disburse bursaries on time so that we don't put our students in a situation where they are being sent home to go and collect money from their parents who are not even able sometimes to pay the school fees. And finally, Mr. Speaker, on the implementation plan and the procurement plan. As a county, we should make sure, especially the chair of implementation of this honorable house, that is Honorable James Omolo, to make sure that the procurement of the existing projects as per placed in the appropriation are done on time, so that we don't find ourselves rolling over several projects to the subsequent financial year. As you are aware, as earlier been said, that this is the last implementable budget. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, as the Honorable Whip of this House, I urge the members of this County Assembly to pass this budget. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Lumumba Wade.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the budget, much as it has very good report and recommendations. Mr. Speaker, I have just noticed the pending bills that we are appropriated money for is not a bad idea. It is to caution our contractors, the same as the rollover. But this is a short term, Mr. Speaker, that we are seeing as a good gesture. But it is also eating into our budget allocation. At the moment, it is lucrative just because we are not achieving our own source revenue to make sure that we finance our budget fully. As a former chair of ADOC, we did come up with a recommendation that we believe if properly implemented, then the shortfall in budget will be a history. And once that is done, that is when you realize that even the rollover is a short-term remedy. This so-called rollover, actually it's eating into our financial year allocation, which is not a very good show. But because we are curing a problem, we are implementing it now as a short term. I would urge our members to do everything possible to ensure that the ADO committee report is implemented to the letter. Mr. Speaker, lack of early implementation of all these recommendations also contributes to now the rollover as we cure the pending bills. And to some extent, I tend to believe that this is just created by the executive to create turbulence, what I call financial turbulence, to delay the implementation, roll over to the next financial year. Mr. Speaker, if all these budgets are implemented in good time, as the able chairman has recommended in his report, with a timeline that the implementation of this project should take place, it would be a very, very good budget, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, recently, if you want to believe what I'm saying, that there is always turbulence that creates these delays. Supplementary was passed here just 2 months to the end of financial year. I can tell you that nothing from that supplementary has been implemented. And this, I think, was done deliberately. As soon as the supplementary was some jargon came up that the downloading has not been done, the COB has not done ABC. Until now, that has necessitated this rollover. And the rollover list was actually posted this afternoon. I've seen some of the projects in my ward are not even captured, but I've consulted with the chair. That will be done even later. So, my neighboring ward where I'm the acting MCA, Central Nyakach, has a lot of missing rollover projects, Mr. Speaker, which I believe I'll be given an opportunity to point out those projects so that they are captured. As you know me, I'm a Christian, I'm not a very mean person. I would want my neighbors and my friends also to walk the same path with me. I don't
Point of
want
order,
people to
Mr. Speaker.
What is the point of order?
Mr. Speaker, is it in order for the Honorable Deputy Leader of Majority to insinuate that he is acting on behalf of Vincent of Central Nyakach, when we all know that Vincent is very much alive and has not resigned as the MCA of Central Nyakach, Mr. Speaker?
Honorable Lumumba Wade.
Mr. Speaker, this is something that when we are in this house and the member of parliament, the member of county assembly is not there, and I'm saying I'm representing my neighboring ward. Is that not in order, Mr. Speaker? That is very much in order, that I am speaking on behalf of my neighbors. You remember that even in this house, there are some committees that we represent as a sub-county and not as a ward. So allow me to maintain my position. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you allow me, please. I want to humbly ask Honorable Lumumba to kindly withdraw, because you cannot represent a person who is alive. He has not asked you to represent him. Mr. Speaker, in this house, we deal with evidence. Can he table any written evidence that Honorable Vincent Obuya has delegated his roles to him? Because, Mr. Speaker, he's going on the Hansard, Mr. Speaker, and we know Vin is alive. And neither the office of the Speaker has communicated that Vin is not there, and therefore Central Nyakach needs to be represented by a different member, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Lumumba, have your seat. I want to Nerea. I think Honorable Lumumba has made clarification that is representing Honorable Obuya. When we are discussing the budget, we don't represent your ward. You represent the whole county. So you are allowed to make reference to any ward. I think I heard Honorable Seth Kanga making reference to Honorable Calvin Oraro. I had Honorable Seth Kumu making reference to I don't know which member. So it's in order. Honorable Lumumba, proceed and conclude.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for protecting me, Mr. Speaker. Even people of Nyakach have seen those who do not mean well for them in terms of development. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, allow me to proceed with the complimenting and praising my chair, Honorable Swaga. There was a recommendation in the agricultural department of creating subsidy for agricultural input. But this can only be done if an act is brought before this house and passed to ensure that Kisumu County farmers also benefit from the government subsidy. I would urge this house and the Chief of Agriculture that we move with speed to have that act drafted and be brought to this house so that we can pass it in order for our farmers benefit from the subsidy. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, again on the same breath, I would ask our members also, and most of the chair roads, that the same should be moved or pushed very fast so that an act of roads is brought to this house to create the road-based program, which, if implemented, Mr. Speaker, it will save many of our members who the roads problem is going to take home, but we still can save ourselves with the remaining 1 year if we implement the road-based program. Then we do the roads, and then our neck can be saved for another 5 years. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Mr. Speaker, before he receives his seat, point of correction, if you allow me.
Oh.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to let the member who has just spoken that the regulation is talking about already is with the committee of delegation, meaning the work is going on. Thank you.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Nerea.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and honorable members. Mr. Speaker, allow me to read the mood of the House and say, as they would say where I come from, that Guinea Bear wadonje uru. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I call the mover to reply.
Mr. Speaker, I also want to give my little contribution on this budget presented today and the budget that is going to drive Kisumu County for the next financial year. Mr. Speaker, honorable members have praised the budget, which is in order, but let us get these figures, Mr. Speaker. Development is 3.7 billion. And the rollover is 2.2 billion. The ward-based projects, 875 million, implying that what is going to be implemented in the next financial year will be about 3 billion. Plus the others, the flagship projects, which I doubt whether they are in the rollover. And Mr. Speaker, this gives a picture that the projects of 2025-2026 are going to be paid, most of them, in 2026-2027. What picture does this give on our financial position? And Mr. Speaker, the receivable, which I interpret to be the closing balance, the opening balance, is 1.09 billion, and which has already been received by the executive. And since that money has been received, the expenditure is going on. The picture we have here is a financial problem which, if it's not properly addressed, the matter of pending bills will keep on accumulating, and that the country still wants to employ. And we are told in this record that the wage bill is 47%. And there are instances in this House that records have come here that the wage bill is above 50%. Mr. Speaker, the picture we are getting is that figures are not adding up. Honorable members, figures may not be adding up in this county. On more employment, as Honorable Whip was saying, you find that directors being employed in a department, and the senior people who are at the rank of the directors are also there. You wonder what kind of decision this government is making. And as he had also said, staff audit has been done several times. And those reports don't reach this assembly. And Mr. Speaker, you also know there is also confusion in this assembly from 2023. Labor Committee no longer knows that they should deal with the matters of wage bill in this county. It was switched to JLAC. Why? And when you look at the amended standing order, it is Labor Committee. And this is something the leadership has closed its eyes to, and it may be intentional.
Mr. Speaker, point of order. Mr. Speaker, I had my colleague, Honorable Peter Pete, saying the Labour Committee has not done his work. Mr. Speaker, the colleague or my colleague is a member of my committee. And this is something we've discussed and done with. Unfortunately, it doesn't come to our meetings, so he wouldn't know whether we've done it or not. Please, I would ask him to withdraw because this is something we've done. Thank you.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've had Honorable Iko Pete insinuating that JLAC has usurped the mandate of Labour Committee. And unfortunately, the honorable member is a member of JLAC. If JLAC has done well, he should take credit. He will not come here and lament because he's a member of that committee. But I'll go by what Honorable Koya said. He does not attend committee meetings, so he doesn't know.
Honorable, you are well elected.
Honorable Speaker, records speak for themselves. When the matter of staff was brought here by Honorable Sami Onyango of Railways, the staff who are on interdiction on suspension, the matter was committed to the joint committees of finance and JLAC, and Labour was not there. If I'm lying, let the chair say.
Honorable Benny, I have guided on that matter. Unless you want to change the debate to be on something else and not budget.
I'm on budget, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, on this budget, when you look at the contribution of Honorable Oraro, and we know why the rollover has reached 2.2 billion. This has come from the supplementary budget, Mr. Speaker, which some members are also aggrieved here, Mr. Speaker, but people just don't want to talk. When you look at the record of the supplementary, people will be surprised. Where did these projects come from? But that has happened, Mr. Speaker. The important thing now is the on-source revenue has been raised here by members. Initially, the finance department wanted it to be 1.4, and through the contribution of the budget committee, it has gone to 2.3 billion. And Mr. Speaker, this is a matter that was discussed in this House extensively, that on-source revenue of Kisumu should be about 8 billion. So, if we can't tell the department that they must work hard to raise the on-source revenue to where the mapping has put Kisumu County to, then this assembly will be failing the people of Kisumu County, because without collection of enough funds, we will find the pending bills accumulating, projects will not be done, and we members of the assembly, the members of the public will be on our neck that we have failed. So I think the most important thing when we are discussing budget, we must tell the finance department they must pull up their socks to collect on-source revenue to the rate where Kisumu County is expected. That is very crucial, Mr. Speaker and the honorable members. Now that the budget is before us, and considering all the ups and downs, we need, the assembly needs to pass it. Mr. Speaker, I hope that we shall have learned from the weaknesses that have been there in the budget making process, and the next time we shall be proud when the final decision is the decision of the whole House. A budget that is very representative of the wards. Mr. Speaker, with those very little contribution, I so contribute.
Before I give the majority, Honorable Iko, you either support or oppose. So I wonder what, it's been a trend that Honorable Iko would contribute, but I've never heard him supporting or opposing any motion. But anyway, Honorable Leader of Majority.
The one of Aero I supported. When the Aero matter came up here,
So it's
on
one.
the record I supported.
So he only supported one out of the many sessions that Honorable Iko has been in the Assembly. Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I do not want to talk about Ahero, but I rise to support. I know time has gone, but I want to say that we have a very well balanced budget. And I want to remind members that budget making is a process. It did not start yesterday. It started at some point, and all members are members of sectoral committees. You had chances to contribute and give your views. I don't understand where a member would say that we are setting a bad trend. And it's also part of these committees that are in the House. I only want to single out one area in the report, and I would like to request the Chair of Land and Urban Development and the committee to work with the line department so that this evaluation roll process to complete. This is the only way that the country will get good revenue for development. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, I do support. Thank you.
Honorable Dede, I think that's the last person. Then the mover of the motion, you can reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me also add my voice on the motion. Mr. Speaker, much has been said concerning the estimates, and I would like to add the issue of capitation in the ECDs. We've seen that ECD capitation goes to 100.5 million. Mr. Speaker, for us to spend the capitation money well, I think we should go to the 681 centers, ECD centers. Let the money be budgeted at the ECD center by the center manager so that money is spent appropriately. Mr. Speaker, concerning the issue of bursary, which has already been talked about by many members, the issue of remitting money to our...
Honorable Dede, I think it's the work of the county to do budget. How is the money going to be budgeted at the ECD center? And you are doing budgeting now.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think the money should be well spent at by the center managers, so that in terms of procurement, if they're doing procurement at the central point, Mr. Speaker, a lot of consideration being taken, whereby we get the bidders or the contractors there calculating their percentage of profits, but when the money is being cascaded to the centers, Mr. Speaker, it will be well spent. And concerning the bursary which I was talking of, late disbursement of the money to schools wastes a lot of money. Like currently, Mr. Speaker, if we talk of the disbursement to our colleges, our money has not yet been disbursed to the colleges, yet at this particular moment, other colleges, there are others who are finishing their courses by July. If they complete their courses by July, and the money has already been allocated to some students in those schools, money goes at a waste, Mr. Speaker. And also concerning our budget, Mr. Speaker, the 16 million plus, which has been taken to VCT for the tools and equipment, that's a plus to them, Mr. Speaker, because most of our facility lacks the tools and equipment. And the budget also goes well with the mainstreaming of the people with disability. They've also been catered for in this budget, Mr. Speaker. Concerning the ECD recruits, Mr. Speaker, which the department has requested for, will be a plus to us. And if you go to the public and the governance, administration and governance, Mr. Speaker, additional of 2 ward offices is okay, and we'll urge that other years, then let all of us have the ward offices at each and every point so that we get other services. And finally, Mr. Speaker, in the Department of Water, it's good we've attained 16% for polarization of Kiwasco, which will assist us in the water supply of water within outside the wards within the city. Mr. Speaker, that is a plus to us. And to my What is, Mr. Speaker, the budget committee has brought a report concerning the issue of FLOCA. Today, we want to pass a budget without a list of FLOCA projects, Mr. Speaker. And in all these other departments, we get each and every particular department, the roads, we get a list of roads. In other departments like agriculture, we get a list of the projects. And as the implementation time will come, Mr. Speaker, concerning the FLOCA projects, the same members will start blaming that I'm not captured in the budget for the FLOCA, Mr. Speaker. So that one they should have taken into consideration, as they should have listed the list of FLOCA projects to be undertaken in the financial year which you are partaking. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I support the motion. Thank you.
Joaquim Mukech.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was a little bit heavy to go in front there. So, Mr. Speaker, I'll respond a little bit fast. First of all, I want to remind Honorable Dede that the budget was indeed submitted to the sectors. The committee was not preparing a new budget. So at the sector level, your committee did not even provide list for the FLOCA. So it is very surprising that you are asking the list of FLOCA projects from the chair of budget. But of course, it means your committee did not do a good job, because we are only reporting on the reports from the different sectors. So it means if we never received the list, then you never submitted the list to the budget committee. But of course, I hope you will be able to do a good job on that. I want to agree with Honorable Petro Eko on many issues. One, on the fiscal crisis that we have as a county. On that, I totally agree with you that if you look at the fiscal healthiness of our county, we seem not to be doing very good. And in terms of looking at how much percentage is going to recurrent expenditure, that is if you mix both O&M and P&E, the figures are very high. And if you even look at the percentages, leave alone before we increase the on-source from 1.4, look at the percentage on what we have developed and all that, you can see that the figure goes to the percentage you are talking about. So I agree with you that we need to do a lot. And that is why you were in that ad hoc committee to look for revenue and giving us recommendations to be able to help the county. And you remember I differed with you and your chair here over revenue, because our recommendations were personalized as opposed to areas where we could collect revenue. So Honorable Pete, me and you combined, we still have a lot to do, so that within the one financial year we have, we should be able to find avenues of increasing the revenue. In terms of why the on-source has been increased from 1.4 to 2.3, I mean, we all agree that the budget was submitted here with the estimates, but you have seen the changes that we've made. By then, we did not have ward-based projects at 875 and other additional requirements from the department. So we realized that, of course, if you look at the figure that has been added for FIF, that is money that has to be collected from our health facilities. And then look at the on-source performance of this current financial year. Our figure is heading towards 2 billion. So I believe that if they do an extra work, we could do the 2.3. So I don't think in terms of this projection, we are badly off. But of course, I agree with you, our wage bill, we are doing bad in terms of collection, we are doing bad. And it's like our county is postponing problem. That is why we keep on rolling over. We are also rolling over this project, whoever is coming in to be able to carry that burden. That I agree with you. But of course, it is a county problem that all of us must come together to be able to work on them. On the issue of giving, let me talk to Honorable Lumumba, OSR. Of course, he also mentioned about something about OSR. He was the chair of ad hoc and he understands these problems. And rollover, of course, is also a function of a creation of one, late implementation of projects, two, underperformance of on-source, and three, probably less disbursement of money from the exchequer. So those are areas that I'm very sure if we improve as a county, then we will do well. I also agree with Honorable Seth Kanga. On terms of staff establishment, we sing this song daily. And if you look at the HR requirements of our departments, it's not following the right procedure. The staff establishment and all of that will have given us the position, and the board will be in a position to know what each department requires. But you see, now we are working on the opposite. Of course, we know that we are understaffed in terms of VCD teachers. But now again, we are just trying to help the board and the department how to work through the chair of education, who has been very pushy about the employments of these teachers. But Mr. Speaker, we agree that in most cases, this issue of staff establishment, I think I only saw the assembly that I agree with Honorable Seth Kanda, do it. But the departments have refused to do it. They have a report. But let's hope that this time around they'll be able to submit the report to the assembly. Mr. Speaker, I also want to agree with Honorable Jagongo on the municipalities. The reason why municipalities now are standing alone is because of Kiswahili tunasema kunyanyaswa with their mother department of lands. So in terms of prioritization, the department will get money, but they give priority to their own activity. The municipality is required to stand alone so that they are able to run their activities. Of course, their mother department still remains Department of Lands, but with their standalone budgets, they are able to carry on the activities without the interference of the department. And with that, I also agree with the Honorable Jagongo that giving funds to municipality, I think, was a very brilliant idea. And I want to implore this House to continue supporting the municipalities, because that is what devolution is. On all of our list, I mentioned earlier, and I'm still mentioning that one, I want to apologize on behalf of the committee for having the lead come very late. I was just talking with members outside here that we had to push for the list up very late. I remember, if you check my email, for those who are able to, I received the last department that delayed at around 3. I was watching, I don't know, is it Germany versus another team? Was it Morocco? I was watching Morocco, Mr. Speaker. No, there was a game at 3 a.m. I don't know which team. So I had to watch that game, Mr. Speaker, as I will for email from a certain officer. So I was acting like somebody working in the executive just to have the list. So I remember sending Omolo, then I sent Omolo a WhatsApp at 4 because I knew he would wake up and react on it. So that is why the list came very late. They had to check it in the morning. And that is why, if you're very keen, we are still saying it is a draft. It is a draft rollover project, so it's subject to a lot of changes. So if we get it wrong, just forgive us. We are also trying to perfect it. But of course, we have tried to capture as much as possible. Areas where there are challenges, we have communicated to members. Please reach out to the clerk of the committee so that we are able to revise it accordingly. In terms of pending bills, you have been very keen that for the last 3 financial years, the allocation for pending bill has been going down. So we are actually not introducing more pending bill because the all of us have covered us a lot. So we are only dealing with historical pending bills that had been accumulated before, and that is why you can see the figure is a little bit lower. And then on Honorable Kelvin Oraro mentioned something that has been recommended even by this committee, I think for the last 2 financial years, on the scientific determination of wood-based. And I can remember Honorable Speaker has always advised that we have a way of determining our wood-based. So what we do first is that, our budget comes to the Assembly on 30th. So as a committee, we are very limited on how much we can change. And sometimes I normally say that, we negotiate with the executive, because once the documents come here on 30th, we can only alter 1% of the document. But you are very keen how much changes have been made on that document alone. It's subject to how we negotiate with the executive and how we agree. And that is why sometimes we try just to balance. But I agree with you that some of these words deserve more. That I agree. And probably we hope that the new leadership that will be coming after, God willing, we exit, by then we can have a leadership that is able to scientifically develop a formula of appropriating this money in a way that all the wards are able to get. But still, I want to thank Governor Professor Pina Changnyongo that in all the years, he has never interfered with the recommendation that we give. But I'm again not running away from the fact, and this I think was mentioned by Honorable Uko, that members also played a role. And I remember the last Kamkuji that we had here, it was very heated, Mr. Speaker. And I left this place, and I think the first person I called was the majority leader. And I told him, majority, things are not easy. So can we try and do something for our members? And I want to thank majority leader and all the team that tried talking to the executive. I know we can get a much bigger figure, but just like Honorable Pete is saying, physically our county is struggling in terms of finances. And I normally joke that Kisumu is a broke county. And I think the next governor coming in, we probably confirm. Honorable James Were, the rollover that was omitted will be corrected. And I think I have sent a text to Molo so that we are able to sort the rollover for River Nyamasaria. Honorable Chele, I think, did agree with our budget the way it is, and I also want to thank him as a member of the committee. It was never easy having all this. I agree that Honorable Zakwach, the procuring of projects by December, I don't know, I had asked the CCM Finance that I know it's not possible to pay all our projects by the first half of the year. But I think nothing stops us from procuring everything by the first half of the year. So we are also pushing that because I know it's a campaign period. So let's hope that in our, always good work relationship with them, we are able to allow the department to procure all projects by December so that even as they stagger all other factors in terms of paying and all that, the members are able to ensure that the awards are worked on before then. So I don't want to mention much beyond that. Our ECD teachers, Honorable Seth, we are supporting that 100%. And I don't know if voters were only ECD teachers, I think your tenure as the next MCA for your award will be secured. So I want to thank you all. Honorable Narea is saying this thing is good. I don't know what is good. But otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal on these members to support this document. And lastly, I also want to thank them. Budget making is never an easy document. I really want to apologize if there are those we crossed with. I think there were a lot of heated debate on the group, and we were attempting to answer most of them in the most lenient possible way. But I want to thank them, Mr. Speaker, for these 3 years. Mimi sikuraruliwa nguo, and for these 3 years, sikupigwa ngumi in our retreat. So I think it shows how objective our members are. Sometimes it's normally heated. In most cases, we normally differ with Honorable Lumumba, but at least for the first time, we had not differed on the budget making process. So that's good a lot. And even my sister, Honorable Nerea, I think towards the end of the last budget making process, we were not in good talking terms. We were not talking at all. But this time around, she has said this thing is good, let us enter. With all that said and done, thank you, members, and I beg to reply, Mr. Speaker.
You can come in, let the honorable member come in. Honorable members, the motion adoption of the report of the County Budget and Appropriation Committee on the consideration of the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year 2026, 2027, and the medium term have been moved, seconded, debated, reply made. As per our standing orders, I now want to put a question. And I put that as many of the opinion that the motion adoption of the report of the County Budget and Appropriation Committee on consideration of the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year 2026, 2027, and the medium term be adopted. Say aye.
Aye.
As many of the contrary opinions say nay. The ayes have it. And this motion, adoption of the report of the County Budget and Appropriation Committee on consideration of the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year 2026, 2027, and the medium term have been adopted today, Tuesday, the 30th of June, 2026 at 17:22 hours. And I want to direct that the recommendations of this report be carried forward to the next level of the budget making process, and also those that requires actions to be communicated to the right departments for implementation. Next order.
Order number 9, Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026 by Honorable Joachim Okech, first reading.
Honorable Joachim Okech.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026 be read for the first time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and honorable members. The Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026, a bill for an act of the County Assembly of Kisumu to authorize the issue of certain sums of money out of the county revenue fund and their application towards the services of the year ending on 30th June 2027, and to appropriate those sums for certain public services and purposes. Memorandum of Objects and Reasons. The Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026 makes provision for the giving statutory sanction for public expenditure for the year ending on the 30th June 2027 on the basis of the estimates of expenditure for fiscal year 2026-2027 that is recurrent, and on the estimates of the expenditure for fiscal year 2026-2027 development, and for the appropriation of those amounts, dated the 25th June 2026 by Joachim Okech, Chairperson, Budget and Appropriation Committee. And the bill has been read for the first time.
Honorable members, the Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026 have been read for the first time, and by that it's properly laid before the House. And I want to commit it to the Committee of Budget and Appropriation. And because we've just done the report, I believe that you are aware that our standing order will allow you to proceed to the next level of that bill. So next order, clerk.
Second reading of Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026 by Honorable Joachim Okech.
Honorable Joachim Okech.
Thank you once more, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, again, I would wish to move that the Kisumu County Appropriation Bill of 2026 again be read for the second time.
The Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026, a bill for an act of the County Assembly of Kisumu to authorize the issue of certain sums of money out of the county revenue fund and their application towards the services of the year ending on the 30th June 2027, and to appropriate those sums for certain public services and purposes. Memorandum of Objects and Reasons. The Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026 makes a provision for the giving a statutory sanction for a public expenditure for the year ending on the 30th June 2027 on the basis of the estimates of expenditure for fiscal year 2026-2027 recurrent, and the estimates of expenditure for fiscal year 2026-2027 development, and for the appropriation of those amounts, dated the 25th June 2026. Joachim Okech, Chairperson, Budget and Appropriation Committee. Now the bill has been read for the second time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Members, I want to refer you to Standing Order number 91 on public bills. I not read it, so that is just to those who may question why we move from first reading to second reading. When it's a money bill, we are allowed to move from first reading to second reading, then to third. Honorable Joachim Okech.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to propose that we resort to committee of the whole house.
Honorable members, after the second reading and the proposal is made that we move to the committee of the whole house, there is no question to be put. I want to ask the Honorable Chairperson of the committee of the whole house to take her seat.
Honorable members, allow me call the sitting to order. The Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026 has been read for the first, and now we are at the second reading. For the second time, we are going to look at the report from the public participations. And I want to call upon Honorable Joachim. Proceed, yes.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I wish to move that we go the guillotine way. And I want to request Honorable Seth Ochenkanga to second.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I second that we go the guillotine way. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. The chair budget has proposed that we go the guillotine way, which means we are going to go per schedules. That proposal has been supported by Honorable Kanga. All in agreement? We go the guillotine way. Honorable members, we are going to start with clause 2. Chair, clause 2.
Thank you. And allow me to read there's section 2 that falls, that is clause 2. And it is that be amended by adding the letter S immediately after the word forward appearing on the 4th line of the paragraph.
Seconder, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. Seconder, I think this is from the committee, so already we don't need a seconder. Yes, Madam Chair.
Honorable members, that was a proposal from the members of the committee. Any objection? All in agreement? I therefore want to propose that class 2 now form part of the Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026 as amended. May as many of the opinion say aye. May as many of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. And clause 2 of the Kisumu County Appropriation Bill as amended now form part of the bill. Clauses 3, 4, 5, Honorable Chair.
Can I approach the chair first for consultation, Madam Chair?
Yeah. Yeah, Manosawa. Honorable Chair.
Thank you very much. Clause 3, 4, and 5. No proposed amendment, Madam Chair, from the committee.
Honorable members, there were no amendments in clauses 3, 4, 5 from the committee, not from the public. Do we have any proposed amendments from the floor? Silence means none. I therefore want to propose a question of adoption that may as many are of the opinion that clauses 3, 4, and 5 remain as was originally written in the bill, say aye.
Aye.
May as many of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it, and clauses 3, 4, 5 now form part of the Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026. Now we move to schedules. Honorable Chair, first schedule.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. On the first schedule, Madam Chair, we have the following amendment. And members, if you have the bill, you go to code 317 R10. 317 R10. And then you remember it was the issue raised by Honorable Uko of JTRH name appearing in the bill. I read again 317 R10. So, Madam Chair, the code 317 R10 be amended by deleting the phrase Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital appearing in the second column, and immediately after the word headquarters, replacing therefore with Kisumu County Referral Hospital. And allow me to repeat again that code 317 R10 be amended by deleting the phrase Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital appearing in the second column, and immediately after the word headquarters, and replacing therefore with Kisumu County Referral Hospital. That was the only amendment on the first schedule, Madam Chair.
Thank you, honorable members. The Committee of Budget proposes an amendment in code 317 R10. Do we have any counter proposals? Any? All in agreement? May I put a question that code 110 in the first schedule, code 317 R10, be amended by deleting the phrase Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital, appearing in the second column, and immediately replacing the word headquarters and after the word headquarters, and replacing therefore with Kisumu County Referral Hospital. May as many of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
May as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And in the first schedule, code 317 RO, as amended, now forms part of Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026. We go to the second schedule, Chair.
On the second schedule, and members, if you have the bill, we go to code 317 D04. 317 D04, that is on page 9. And allow me to read, Madam Chair, that code 317 D04 be amended by deleting the figure 0 under the fifth column, supply total, and replacing therefore with the figure 104 million. And allow me to explain, honorable members. Remember, in our report, we had mentioned and approved that the development for the assembly outside their ceiling will be capped at 104 million. And therefore, it is missing in the bill. And that is the amendment that the committee had, so that the 104 development for the assembly is also put as part of the bill. So, Madam Chair, can I just read all at once? Then we make.
Yes,
Thank
Honorable
you.
Chair.
And honorable members, again on code 317 D16, remember that all our municipalities were allocated a development vote of 20 million. And very vividly, we mentioned them in our report. But now again, when coming to the bill, the 20 millions are missing in the bill. And that is what we are attempting to correct. And allow me to read, Madam Chair, that code 317 D16, that code 317 D16 be amended by deleting the figure 0 under the fifth column, supply total, and replacing therefore with the figure 20 million. So 317 D16 is for Maseno Holo. And as I proceed again, code 317 D17, that code 317 D17 be amended by deleting the figure 0 under the fifth column, supply total, and replacing therefore with the figure 20 million. 317 D17 is Kombewa body, that is their development aspect. And code 317 D18, allow me to read code 317 D18 be amended by deleting the figure 0 under the fifth column, supply total, and replacing therefore with the figure 20. 317 D18 is for Tito. And allow me again to go to 317 D19, that code 317 D19 be amended by deleting the figure 0 under the fifth column, supply, and replacing therefore with the total figure of 20 million. And again, that is the development for that. So we are just ensuring that all the municipalities have their development vote of 20 million each. Madam Chair, that will influence the subtotal for development, because when we insert the 20 million each, our subtotal for development now again increases by that particular figure in total. So if you allow me to read again, that the subtotal figure for development expenditure be amended by deleting the figure 5,732,326,458 captured under the fifth column, and replacing therefore with the figure, and allow me to read again, Madam Speaker, Kenya shillings now, the total subtotal for development will be 5,916,326,438. Then again, now that affects the total development vote, because when it affects the subtotal, now the total again will come, and allow me to read, that is the grand total, that the grand total be amended by deleting the figure Kenya shillings 14,276,638,825 under the fifth row supply total, and replacing therefore with the figure Kenya shillings 14,460,638,805. Madam Speaker, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, on the second schedule, those are the proposed amendments from the committee. Thank you.
Honorable members, in the second schedule, a number of Amendments have been made to facilitate our municipalities, and the amendments therefore changes the subtotal amount. That is a proposal from the committee. Do we have any further amendments from the floor or any other contrary opinion? Yes, Honorable Billy.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, on second schedule, 317 DO2. There's an omission there. The word expenditure, not there. We should read the amount required in the year ending 30th June 2027 for expenditure for development in agriculture, fisheries, livestock development, and irrigation. So there's an omission of expenditure for.
Yes, Honorable Billy, you need a second?
I want to ask Honorable Alando to second.
Yes, Honorable Aland. Honorable members, an amendment has been proposed by Honorable Billy in the second schedule, that is in code 317D02, to include the word expenditure before the word development, after the word development, to read the amount required in the year ending 30th June 2027 for development expenditure. That same amendment has been seconded by Honorable Alando. Do we need to debate on that? All in agreement? And I put a question that the amendment as proposed by Honorable Billy, seconded by Honorable Alando, and unanimously agreed upon by Honorable Billy, now form part of the bill. May as many of that opinion say aye. May as many of the opinion say nay. And code 2, code 317D02, as amended, now form part of the Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026, together with codes 317D04 as amended, code 31706 as amended, code 317D17 as amended, code 317D18 as amended, code 317D19 as amended, and finally, those amendments changes the subtotal for development expenditure, which now reads as 5,732,326,457. Sorry, honorable members, the subtotal now reads 5 billion 916,326,438. And may as many of that opinion say aye. May as many of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. And Schedule 2 as amended now form part of Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026. Honorable members, we move to the title. The grand total has been amended, honorable members, by deleting 14 billion 276 million 638,825, and replacing therefore with the figure 14 billion or 460 million 638,805. $805 Kenya shillings. The grand total of the Kisumu County budget estimate 2026-2027 now reads as 14 billion 460 million 638,805. And may as many of the opinion say aye. May as many of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. And the subtotal of the Kisumu County budget estimates 2026 stand as amended. Now we move to the title, Honorable Chair.
No proposed amendment on the title, Madam Chair.
Honorable members, the committee and the public did not see the need to amend the title. Any amendments from the floor? Silence means none. So, honorable members, the title of...
Madam Chair, can I interrupt you before you put a question?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Because I have just noticed something that when you look at the title, that is both the short title to be specific. Remember, our changes in the totals will have an impact on our short title, because when we issue...
Yes, I get you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you
I get you, yes. Honorable members, Chair, proceed.
Thank you very much, members. I just wanted to bring to your attention that the short title is a subject of our total budget. So when we had amended the different development vote, including the one for municipalities and the development aspect for the assembly, our grand total changed from 14,276,638,825 to 14,460,638,805. And therefore, the issue of 14 billion, we replace the 14,276,638,825 by 14,460,638,805. And allow me to read that the issue of Kenyan shillings 14,460,638,805 out of the county revenue fund for the service of the year ending 30th June 2027 and appropriation of the money granted. Madam Chair, and I beg to move the changes.
Honorable Chair, can we get a seconder on this?
Thank you. And Madam Chair, before I get a seconder, because we had guilloted, let me just read the second one. So that the second one is written in words that the county treasury may issue the sum of now the Kenya shillings 14,276,638,825 only to be replaced by Kenyan shillings 14,460,638,805. So number 2 also changes out of the county revenue fund and apply towards the supply granted for the service of the year ending 30th June. And I want to call upon Honorable Sethu Ching to thank you.
Yes, Honorable Seth.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I second the amendment as stated in the short title. Thank you.
Honorable members, the short title following amendments in Schedule 2 has therefore changed from 14 million, 14 billion, 276 million, 638,825 to 14 billion, 460 million, 638,805. May as many are the opinion that the short title be changed, say aye.
Aye.
May as many of the opinion say nay. The nays, the ayes have it. The ayes have it. And the short title of the Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026 stands at 14 billion. That is in words in the one of 460 million, 638,805. And it now forms part of the bill. We go to Clause 1, Honorable Chair.
Madam Chair, no amendments from Clause 1. Thank you.
Honorable members, the committee and the public did not find any necessary amendments in Clause 1. Do we have any proposed amendments coming from the floor? Silence means none. And Clause 1, as appearing in the bill, now forms part of the Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026. And honorable members, the second reading and the committee of the whole house on the Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026 is spent with. Let us wait for the chair to be taken. In the meantime, you can mingle and ask your fellow colleagues why we only have Honorable Opar, Honorable Alando every year when handling budget issues, and Honorable Obas. And I think I saw Honorable Jegejeg. Out of the 14. So that is a question, honorable members, that you may need to interact on as we wait for the chair to be taken back. And this has been repeating itself, honorable members. I'm not seeing her. Yeah.
Honorable Ngeta, you can't hide forever, man. You must sit where we see you. You must sit where we see you.
Honorable Chairperson of the House Committee, floor is yours.
Honorable members, allow me report back to the House on the Committee of the Whole House consideration of the Kisumu County Appropriation Bill. That is the County Assembly Bill number 6 of 2026. And we approved, Mr. Speaker, the same with the following amendments. Mr. Speaker, in section 2 of the bill, clause 2 was amended by adding the letter S immediately after the word toward, appearing on the fourth line of the paragraph, deleting the words 14 billion, 276,638,825 and replacing by the words 14,460,638,805. In the first schedule, Mr. Speaker, we amended Code 317 R10 by deleting the words Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital, appearing in the second column and immediately after the word headquarters, and replaced therefore with the words Kisumu County Referral Hospital. In the second schedule, we amended Code 317 DO2 by adding the words expenditure for immediately after the word development and just before the word agriculture. In the same schedule, Mr. Speaker, Code 17.3 D04 was amended by deleting the figure 0 under the fifth column, that's the supply total, and replacing therefore with the figure 104 million. In Code 317 D16, we deleted the figure 0 under the fifth column and replaced therefore with the figure Kenya shillings 20 million. Code 317 D17, we deleted the figure 0 under the fifth column and replaced therefore with the figure Kenya shillings 20 million. In Code 317 D18, we deleted the figure 0 under the fifth schedule, the fifth column, and replaced therefore with the figure Kenya shillings 20 million. In Code 317 D19, we deleted the figure 0 under the fifth column and replaced therefore with the figure Kenya shillings 20 million. And Mr. Speaker, those amendments subsequently changed the subtotal, that is in development expenditure, where the total figure for development expenditure was amended by deleting the figure Kenya shillings 5,732,326,458 captured under the fifth column and replaced therefore with the figure Kenya shillings 5,916,326,438. The grand total, Mr. Speaker, was therefore amended by deleting the figure 14,276,638,825 under the fifth row and replaced therefore with the figure Kenya shillings of 14,460,638,805. Mr. Speaker, subsequently clause 1 was also amended by deleting 14,226,638,825 and was replaced by the figure 14,460,638,805. Mr. Speaker, I report. And I want to call Honorable Seth Okumu to second.
Honorable members, The report of the Committee of the Whole House on the Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026 have been reported, seconded, and as per standing order, I'm not going to propose a question, but I would move straight to putting a question. And I put that as many of the opinion that the report of the Committee of the Whole House on the Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026 be adopted, say aye. As many of the contrary opinions say nay, the ayes have it, and I direct that this report form part of the bill. Next order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Third reading of the Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026 by Honorable Jackie Mokesh.
Honorable Jackie Mokesh.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'd wish to move that the Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026 be read for the third time.
The Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026, a bill for an act of the County Assembly of Kisumu to authorize the issue of certain sums of money out of the County Revenue Fund and the application towards the services of the year ending on the 30th June 2027, and to appropriate those sums for certain public services and purposes. Memorandum of Object and Reasons. The Kisumu County Appropriation Bill 2026 sanctions the expenditure for the year ending the 30th June 2027 on the basis of the estimates of expenditure for financial year 2026-2027 recurrent and the estimates of expenditure for the financial year 2026-2027 development and for the appropriation of those amounts. And the bill is hereby read for the third time.
Honorable members, the Kisumu County Approval Bill 2026 have been read for the third time. When the bill is read for the third time, it gives an opportunity for any further amendments on top of what we had in the second reading. So I want to propose that the Kisumu County Approval Bill 2026, together with all the amendments therein, as per the second reading, is now open for. I want to assume that the silence means that there is no any further amendment or any comment, so I want to call the mover to reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I call upon the mover to reply. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, all I want to do is to continue thanking these honorable members. I want to thank members of the Budget Committee, and I just want to thank all the technical team who played a part in preparation of all these reports, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, they did have very good input, very objective, and at least we thank them for ensuring that Kisumu County has a budget for the financial year 2026-2027, and without forgetting the office of the Speaker and that of the Clerk for all this job. Otherwise, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, let me also take this opportunity to appreciate all the members. The estimates came to this House on the 30th of April 2026. I did commit it to the Committee of Budget and Appropriation. I had the opportunity of being invited by the Budget Committee during the deliberations between the committee and the executive, based on the reports of public participation and the sectoral engagement with the different departments. I want to appreciate the Budget Committee. I personally attended those sittings through the invite of the Chair of Budget Committee. And what I saw is some level of maturity that I had not seen even in the previous engagements. And that should be the spirit, where I saw members putting the interest of the public during engagements, and there was no discussion of any person single word, but all members were talking about Kisumu County. I believe that with all that effort, we have a budget that whatever remains, if we agree on the third reading, will be to implement it. So with those few remarks, I want to put a question. And I want to say that we received the report from the committee. We had the first reading of the Kisumu County Bill 2026, second reading, and the third reading. And with all the amendments therein, I want to put a question that has many of the opinion that the Kisumu County Bill 2026 be adopted. Say aye. Aye. As many of the contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it, and the Kisumu County Bill 2026 with all the amendments therein have been adopted today, Tuesday the 30th of June 2026 at 18:14 hours. And I want to direct that the Hansard team to prepare the Hansard report for, and as well as the VELAM for onward submission to the governor for assent. I also want to direct that the committee of implementation to follow up on the various recommendations that have been made in both the report and the engagements that have been there since 30th of April 2026. I also want to urge the committee, not the committee, but the whole house, part and parcel, that engagement through the committee of implementation so that budget is implemented within time. Next order.
Mr. Speaker and honorable members, there is no any other business in the order paper.
As we can be standing. There being no any other business in the order paper, the House stands adjourned until tomorrow, Wednesday, the 1st of July, 2026 at 9 a.m.